Hello everybody, how are we doing? Welcome to the stream, and welcome to the WardiTV European League 2025. It has been a little bit of time getting this set up. It took a little bit of extra time just because I was sick and getting stuff organized. It was a bit of a different format to usual as well, which really needed everything to be organized to get going, which was a bit unlucky that happens when I'm sick, but that's okay. We're here now and we're excited to get this event started, as we are going to be having day one of the competition. And it should be a whole bunch of fun. I'm just resetting my stream elements goals. But I do want to quickly show you guys what the WardiTV European League looks like, as 24 players will be entering the arena. And, well, 12 will be coming out into the playoffs. We have 8 invites and 16 qualified players to make up 24, who are going to be playing in a Swiss group stage of 5 rounds. Which means that basically everyone is kind of randomized in the bracket to start with. And then as you go 1-0 in the next matchup, you will play someone else who is 1-0, and you will play someone else who is 0-1 if you're 0-1. So as the tournament progresses, we should actually see more and more competitive matches. This first day, today and tomorrow, this first round should be maybe the most one-sided, but after that, we should really get into, like I say, more and more competitive matchups where you've got players who are kind of winning against each other, or both who are winning in the competition. They are going to play against other winners. And, like I say, basically top 12 advance, but the way the playoff bracket looks, there's an upper bracket and lower bracket. So top 4 make the upper bracket. They get an extra life. Rank 5 through 12, they will be in the lower bracket, so they only get 1 life starting off in the playoffs. Today we're going to be seeing the start of group, well, it's all one group, but the start of round 1, and day 1 will feature ByuN versus NightPhoenix, HeroMarine versus Hydra, Krystianer versus Sebesdes, MaxPax versus BabyMarine, Skillous against Mixu, and Showtime versus Mana to round out the day. Before tomorrow, we see Scarlet versus Percival, Jumi versus Ard, Young Yakov versus Shameless, Uthermal versus Fiont, Nico Ract versus Goblin, and Harston versus Geld. Honestly, quite a fun set of matches if you ask me, already in round 1. And like I say, it really should only get better as we move on through the competition and through the games. What's up, Echo Soldier? How you doing, dude? Thank you so much for the 3-month resub and the 5 gifted subs to Misery SC, EST Oak Warrior, Docket, Northok, and Enuage. Lovely meeting you. Love you too, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the gifted subbies and some other subs. Alright. We are going to get ready to go. We've got no other casters here today, just me. No one else wants to cover this? That's fine. We'll show them what good games look like. Players are ready. Let's turn the game sounds on and let's get diving on into our first matchup of the day. ByuN versus NightPhoenix, a little bit... NightPhoenix? I lost some words there. A little bit of TVP to start us off as we get into this one, guys. So again, thanks for joining us. This is the European League. This is going to be our main content that we have for the next few weeks. This tournament lasts about a month, so we've got 4 days straight of it across this week. Then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have some European League. The week after, Tuesday and Thursday. Then I'm going to be going for EWC. The week after EWC, we finish this tournament off with 2 more play days of the groups and straight into playoffs before starting the WardiTV Summer Championship the week after. So, isn't that all a whole bunch of fun? I think so. Like I say, it's going to be interesting because I do think there's going to be some one-sided matchups here. I do think, this opening matchup is not necessarily the most competitive you've ever seen, but it is the European League. Well, let's do the intros first. So first of all, in the top left, our Blue Protoss player is going to be NightPhoenix, and he takes on the Red Terran in the bottom right corner, ByuN. So yes, on any given day, I would generally go out and say that ByuN is going to be a hefty favorite here. However, this is the European League, and so you might be asking, why is ByuN even allowed to play? Well, we did not region lock this tournament. What we did do is we said that if you want to participate in this tournament, you have to play on the European server, you have to play the European time zones, which obviously right now is like a European-friendly starting time. It's like 1 AM in Korea or something like that, so, ByuN is coming out and playing against the odds, essentially, and we did not invite any non-European players. So basically, if you're non-European and competing in this, you came through the qualifier on a European server at a European time, and you're going to be playing disadvantaged throughout the event. So when we do the Korean Royale later this year, we will do the same thing where everything is held on Korea, but anyone can partake. So if the Europeans fancy trying their hand at 300 ping, they are very welcome to come across. We're not region locking, but I think it's fair to give, certain regions an advantage and an advantage there. Like I say, it keeps the majority of the theme of the tournament the way it's meant to be. But if ByuN wants to come out and try his best, I ain't gonna stop him, So, yeah. We'll see what happens as we get underway. As this is going to be our first match of the day. Obviously, NightPhoenix against ByuN. And there's only two, well, Scarlet's in here. She's obviously not a non-European, but there's two Koreans in here, ByuN and Percival. To be fair, thankful for those guys because they are making up a lot of our non-Protoss representation of the tournament. There's a lot of Protoss in this event. It's probably going to be a lot of PvPs at some point, guys, so that's going to be 100% a factor at some point further down the line. So yeah, there'll be a lot of PvPs mixed in here as well. It was just very Protoss heavy. Obviously, a lot of players are prepping up for EWC as well, so they're not participating, so just something else to kind of keep in mind. What's up, DJ Crispy? I hope you're doing well. 19-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Good to see your name in the chat. As always, mate, thank you so much for resubbing. As, yeah, it's kind of crazy to get to cast in the European time zone. Usually, obviously, I'm casting through the day in Europe. But to actually go live in the evening, like, we don't do this a lot. Like, we really do not do this a whole bunch. We're usually, you know, live 5 hours earlier than now. If we're live at this part of the day, it's probably because we've already been live and gone from one event into another or so. So, first of all, just thank you, for popping up and coming about and coming to see us. I appreciate you guys tuning in already and hanging out, because obviously this is not my usual time to go live. So I try to catch you all off guard, but apparently not. Not just yet. All right, Reaper to take the Watchtower as we take a couple of moments. One more thing I just want to mention, I suppose. I mean, I guess we'll probably mention this a bunch throughout the show and throughout the tournament in general, but this is our first official event of the WardiTV 2025 series. This, the Summer Championship, Korean Royale Season 4, the Fall Frenzy, will all be building up into the WardiTV 2025 End-of-Year Championship, including the top 2 finishers of this tournament get beneficial seeding into the main tournament. So that's going to be like a close to $10,000 tournament. You will skip at least an entire group stage by winning this tournament. So there's massive opportunity on the line in that regard. As the Riddermine there grabs that Stalker. There's massive opportunity on the line there. Obviously, this is like a month away before we're talking about really qualifying 2 players through. So that's a huge deal. There's also points on the line for participating in this event, and you can start earning your points and hence earning your seed into the end-of-year championship. There's going to be very limited invites. The majority of this is going to be qualifier-based, qualifying through, the other tournaments that we run. They're all building into the circuit, essentially. And, yeah, it's going to be basically, once EWC ends, a non-stop sling of events. We're going to have the Summer Championship, like I say, the Fall Frenzy. Korean Royale Season 4 is in the works as well, so we really just have a whole bunch of StarCraft 2 coming up. Is the TLDR, a lot of StarCraft coming up and happening. So yeah, just a little bit of extra info for you guys, just to get you hyped up, especially while we work our way through the early game of a TVP that's opened with Phoenix, which generally nowadays, it's funny because, when I think of Phoenix and TVP, I'm still thinking of the Phoenix that are meant to keep you very safe and stop you from dying to things, but Phoenix in the current meta are probably some of the weakest they've ever been. And unfortunately here you can already see that despite with some pretty good Phoenix control to keep the Phoenix alive while getting as much as possible out of them, NightPhoenix is already in a little bit of trouble. This is all him being in trouble without even having a third base. If he'd opened Blink, he might have had a third base start by now, and he'd probably look even more comfortable against a push like this one. The Phoenix are just not doing enough just yet. Now we get the double lift on the Cyclones. Are we going to go after the medevac with the Phoenix? We could do, but a couple of Marines on load. We do get rid of the Cyclones, so finally the defense is going to be made from NightPhoenix. Took a little while, but we are going to get there in the end. As a few more Stalkers pushing through, a Marine going down, and the other Phoenix continuing away back down the right side. They're going to head off to see just where they can get to, what they can find, and all the rest of it in the upcoming moments. An Immortal on the way, 2 more gateways coming about, and get settled in right here. As we do have a couple of SCVs going down, the Phoenix are still perusing around. So nice to get a couple of SCVs, the medevac coming across as well. The War Prison building up on that robo facility so we can get the Immortal maybe across the map, get some harassment going. Just to see what we do. Obviously, the Immortal is a very good sturdy unit early on. This is not being attacked into the Robo Bay, as oftentimes you see with the, Phoenix and Colossus, very popular composition when you talk about Phoenix. This is also going to be that faster Twilight Council, but I wouldn't even say this was a fast Twilight Council, so we're going to go Phoenix Charge. The Charge is going to be pretty slow to come online, honestly. That said, we are poking with a few units, and with the Prism coming across, we'll see if NightPhoenix can do anything here right now, as the 50 workers each. It's pretty nice for ByuN. He's not behind on workers, and he will have mules on his side, so I think he should look at this situation and be pretty darn okay with it right off the bat. I'm just going to see the Phoenix going to lift these couple of siege tanks up, so they are going to lose some of their damage output straight away. One of them gets put back on the ground. We do start to knock down some of the low HP Phoenix, but both the tanks are dead. Good force field as well keeps the Marines away on the high ground, And now we're warping in more additional stalkers. We have not even used the Twilight Council yet. And ByuN is already in a bit of a tough spot because he's missing the defense that he really needs right here. That puts him into a little bit of an awkward position. Charging the Phoenix production. Continue then, as we do have kind of what we expected to see just finally coming up. I do feel like part is still coming in online very late here, but it is a game where ByuN had gotten aggressive kind of early on and is now under his own kind of wave of aggression from his opponent. Stim just finished though, and with Stim finished, a couple of Widow Mines burrowing up, I feel like this is the best of a position ByuN's going to find for himself anytime soon. These Adepts shouldn't find anything. The depots are going to raise, and I just don't think we go committing into this. I mean, you can't blink micro away from those mines. Actually, we're just going to stim in, so ByuN going to try and overwhelm this now before it becomes more of an issue. Phoenix, oh, I love the unburrow on the Widow Mines, because the Phoenix, I think we're just going to try and bait the splash damage onto the bio, and ByuN is going to be able to chase this away, losing, yes, a chunk of SCVs, but really dislodging his opponent's army count. And that should give ByuN a much easier time kind of moving on from here, knowing that at least the army has been disposed of. Yeah, he lost a ton of workers. Do not get me wrong, the worker position is clearly not very good for ByuN at the moment. He's down 37 to the 55. But suddenly he's up double the army supply, and maybe that just gives him a launch across the map to just immediately get toward the other side and put some work in and try and get some damage done. Let's see what he can do here. Bio, Vikings, couple of Widow Mines all gathering together and going to get ready to push themselves across to the upper left-hand side of Pylon. Can ByuN turn this defense into offense? NightPhoenix is on his way to double Forge. I mean, that's great in the long run. It's maybe not so great right now. He has got a lot of Zealots, though, and I do think that's going to stand up for a lot here. Zealots are very clunky, tanky units that really do a lot to, you know, minimize the damage you're going to take. They're going to be able to extend the fight. My problem is, I don't see what we've got to deal damage. Like, is this truly just going to be Zealots? Like, is Zealots our DPS here? Like, yes, they are. And that's the part I don't love. Zealots are great. They buy so much time. They draw fights out because they're so tanky. But you need to be doing something behind those Zealots. Otherwise, ByuN is not going to care. He will stutter step. He will just micro back. And yeah, the Zealots will get some kills. I think ByuN will get very efficient trades. He's also 1-1 to 0-0. So he's got good trades available against these Zealots. And while we will see the Phoenix clearing out the medevacs, every Phoenix went down. And we will chase this away as NightPhoenix. But ByuN, I feel like, gets chased away in a scenario where he's okay with this. Third CC building. Worker count is not really in the bin any longer. And having reset the Phoenix count is a big deal. I do think NightPhoenix is going to love the fact that obviously his 1-1's now on the way through. So he's going to catch up on the upgrades. So ByuN's had that advantage that will fade away. That was the one fight ByuN will have with the upgrade lead. It'll be interesting to see if NightPhoenix thinks he can do more right here. I think with defensive mines, although we haven't had any mines in production apparently. Okay, there's a couple actually. So yeah, with a couple defensive mines, I still don't feel like we have the damage to truly run into this. We also don't have the detection available. I don't think we made an observer at any point. So yeah, we have no detection to actually just get rid of the mines before they fire. I'm actually going to load up the double medevac, which sees the prism coming in from the left-hand side. We'll begin to unload toward that. It's just nice to get a little bit of damage on it already. And uh-oh, NightPhoenix not watching his prism. That's an unnecessary loss. He could have kept that moving. He could have kept that moving over the side very comfortably and done a lot more with it. But unfortunately does not make that play. And that's going to be a costly little loss. So just really unnecessary. You fly that over here. You sit that there. I mean, there are Vikings. Oh, no, the Vikings died. Sorry. So, yeah, actually, you would have been able to just sit there for a while until you at least force Vikings out. But that's really a shame because that really felt like one of the things that was going to keep ByuN pinned back. Now you're almost inviting him to get back on the map again. 3 Phoenix are not going to be that much of a threat to ByuN. He's not going to hang back at home with a majority of army because of a couple of Phoenix poking around at mineral lines. Like, okay, take my 3 or 4 SCVs that you can lift up and kill. You go wild on that. As ByuN now turns his attention to the upper left-hand side, pushing into the Zealotstalker army. Good Widow Mine shots as well. There's just a lot of Widow Mines that have built up at this stage. It's just still Zealot Phoenix, and I mean, there's not even really Phoenix here anymore. Zealots work really well initially when they're very kind of, you know, overwhelming. They can kind of swarm almost, you know, kind of like a Zerg playstyle where you just build a ton of them, and it's very difficult to beat their numbers. But when they're in lower numbers and when you've had time to establish some proper splash damage against them, and that comes into play, as we see here, ByuN is able to take some very good, convincing fights, and hence those convincing fights lead into exactly what we just saw happening in the end. GG's. And a Pylon goes the way of ByuN. I mean, our favorite, even if he has to play in the European server here in the opening games, is going to deliver a performance to knock himself into a 1-0 lead. Obviously, it is going to get tough for ByuN once he starts playing some of the stronger and better players in this event. The European server is 100% going to hold him back, but There's definitely that aspect right now of like he's a favorite, and the European server is going to help level the playing field. But I still would put ByuN as the favorite in his first, maybe even first couple of matches. Down the line, it's going to get a little bit tougher if he meets, you know, the Manas and the Showtimes, the HeroMarines, and so on of this tournament. But we're not at that stage just yet as we wait for ByuN to join us for Game 2 here on Last Fantasy. Expecting to see that in a couple of moments as we get that ready to roll. What's up, guys? How we doing? Am I sick? No, I'm pretty good. I am I'm not sick at all, actually. I was sick before Home Story, so I feel like my it's very difficult to get sick when you've just been sick. Was my I think is my body's response to Home Story post Home Story life this time around. What's up, Chuck, as well? No idea you're gonna stream at this hour, but you're so glad I have had quite the day and need some chill time. Well, hell yeah, welcome to some StarCraft 2. Home Story Cup wasn't a pet dish this time around. Yeah, honestly, I get sick from Home Story Cup before I even like. It's just like the AC and the travel, and I stay up late a couple of nights. I get sick a lot of the time, but no, I was. I mean, I had COVID like a week before Home Story. That's negative like 3 days before, thankfully, so I could go. And I don't know. I was pretty ready to be immune to everything. I would have sucked to get COVID and then go to Home Story after just recovering and then get sick again. Like that would have really sucked. Fortunate. Top left-hand side, on Last Fantasy, super interesting map. I always wonder, like, when you play a map like this as NightPhoenix, what do you have in store for us? Because this typically kind of points towards the Terran as a map favorite, right? This is a map which gives you a lot of good aggressive options. It gives you great drop potential. It gives you a lot of kind of quick pushes on the map as well. So to me, if you're accepting this into the map pool of a best of 3 as the Protoss player, you have to have some kind of a plan or some kind of a way to manipulate this map into your favor. To say, okay, hold up, this map's not new, the norm. Maybe you have something sneaky planned. Maybe you just have some kind of early push planned. To me, this is not the map you're going to try and play a straight-up game on, though. So we'll see if NightPhoenix does indeed have something along those lines for us a bit further down the line. What's up, Buckboo? 5-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Your flight's been delayed for 2 days, Echo? Oh my god. Wait, where are you now? 2 days? Wait, so you're in like... Oh, you were going to fly on Tuesday as well. So are you still in Europe? Hey, that's absolutely nuts. The 2-day delay? How do flights even get delayed for 2 days? That's absolutely ridiculous news. Jeez. Nexus and the pylon dropping down. Cybercore coming up as we take a few moments. And we just settle into, like I say, pretty regular stuff for the moment. CC high ground, ByuN is already thinking, you've let me have this map in the map, well, what the hell are you going to do? So he's just going to take precautions here, pull the CC without the double gas. But he is going to go high ground with it, so he can be a little bit defensive straight away, That's always going to be a nice little starting point. The reactor dropping down on the barracks as well. And a depot going down too. We've got that Reaper heading out over to the right-hand side. We'll just follow it across as it goes for the scout into the main base of a person that is not there. So obviously 3-player map, you do not know where the opponent spawns, so a little bit of an RNG on the scout initially, not going to have much of an impact this game in terms of scouting at least, but we do have obviously the impact of still spawning locations and how the rotational symmetry comes into effect. This spawn in particular, the Terran I really think just likes it. You can push straight up towards a flat ground natural. There's not going to be a lot of defensive points. Like, these defensive points are so far away from the natural, you don't really want to be that far forward as a Protoss a lot of the time. So, yeah, I think ByuN's going to be okay with this spawning setup. The thing is, like, Terrans love it either way, because if you push this way, you get to siege up the main. Like, it's really a win-win for the Terrans. Like, both the spawns are good for you. Some are going to be better for certain builds over others, sure, but yeah, it's genuinely, like I say, very interesting to see Last Fantasy coming in and making it into a best of 3. It sneaks into a best of 5, sure. It makes its way into a best of 7. Understandable. But best of 3, it's so weird to see this map being the one that gets let on through and allowed to play on by. Crazy stuff. We've got a couple of Adepts gathering. They're going to push in a moment as you have a Robo-based opening. Prism on the way. As what's up, Nonesty? Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs as well. It's raining subs today. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Coming with the 5 gifted to Professor Nugget PhD, Infofox, Ferals 2, Dark 7 FDN, and Mesmerize 009. Thank you so much for the generosity of 5 gifted subs. Thank you for everything you do for the SE2 community. no problem. And thank you so much for supporting it. As always, these events don't happen without you guys. This is a WardiTV event, which means that you guys have helped to make this prize pool possible. So if you do enjoy it, if you do enjoy the games, if you're enjoying some differently timed action here on the WardiTV stream, consider dropping a sub, consider supporting. All of it helps us to keep on running more StarCraft 2. So yeah, thank you so much for the gifteds. Appreciate it, guys. As our Marines enter the main base, and this is just something which just being completely missed. You can't take damage with a Robo Opener. The Robo Opener is meant to give you vision. It's meant to keep you safe. It can give you like early game very defensive units like the Immortal. The Robo Opener is not designed to take damage because you're meant to be super safe. You're meant to have all that vision. You're meant to have the ability to build defense. To take damage with a Robo Opener, the problem is as well is that you have no tools that typically bring you back into the game. Like, you have a Prism and Prism dropping, but you don't have the efficiency of Blink Stalkers. You don't have the, you know, defensive potential of, like, Phoenix Blade. I mean, Phoenix Blade is kind of the same as well. Or, like, the Oracles of like, Supreme Map Control. Like, to fall behind with a Robo is really brutal because you're kind of giving up on having really cool stuff in the first place. Now we're going across the map, warping in a couple of units. Are we just going to send this here? 3 gateways warping in. We're going to catch that medevac. Does not go down, but is at least low HP as we get ready to push the natural. There's one tank on the high ground. It's going to be tough to break. We do kill a medevac here, so, you know, take what we're going to get. A little back and forth. Cyclone lock-ons coming through. We're going to try and go to the front now. There are a couple of depths will shade. The defense just looks so good. The tanks are very well placed. The Prism goes down to the Cyclone plus a Viking combo. And this attack opportunity from NightPhoenix is very quickly dissipating. It's fallen away with extreme speed. Like, this is not going to last. This is not going to be well held onto. I think we're going to be seeing ourselves ByuN taking a very likely 2-0 right now. I mean, it's not over, but this is definitely not what NightPhoenix was looking for. Damage taken, behind on workers, loses army supply, loses the pressure possibility with the Prism. He's going to tech to the Robo Bay and give himself an option to tech and to really have kind of better units on the field. But that's pretty much the only thing he can reach toward right now. He hallucinates with the overcharged sentry as well, gets some energy on there. He's just looking for info, but I can't imagine that ByuN is going to wait much beyond his stim pack finishing to put some pressure on this map and to really test the waters. It might be that once stim is done, he comes across, meets a Colossus, and he can't really push in and pressure in for too much right then and there, but the general setup is obviously speaking for itself right now. This is not looking pretty for NightPhoenix. We'll see if he can do anything to bring himself back into this game. The Prism play is obviously one opportunity, but the defense is very well placed. These Adepts probably don't want to commit, but you can't even go back and save them because the Viking is hot on the tail of the War Prism. Uh-oh. It's dead. Second Prism of the game goes down. And yeah, unfortunately for NightPhoenix, just all the little things aren't quite there for him either. And I think this is really going to be a resounding push across the map from ByuN. Stim +1, combat shields will finish in about a minute. And it's going to be so tough to stop ByuN just shoving right now, full force, into your base. What's at Piece B as well, by the way, 500 bits! It's not just raining subs, it's raining bits as well. Thank you so much, guys. It's going to be seeing that Marines and our tanks getting there to pick off the Adept. The Cyclone able to make that grab. Continue our way to the top. And as again, the Zealots, the Sentry, Stalkers, Immortals. A Colossus also continue to come across and get in position. The Bio. And a couple of tanks going to come through too. And Vex will gather up. Combat shield finishing in a moment. 1 tank, 2 tanks, 3 tanks going to siege. The Bio going to step forward. Stalkers are going to step up as well. A couple of tank shots. Immortals will take some damage. We do have a few more shots coming through. We have the Bioforce continue to commit in right now. As you just see, the Immortal is going to go down. The Sentries are going to get grabbed. Stalkers are going to get slaughtered. I mean, we got rid of most of the tanks, but actually I think at this point we could just drop into the army and almost kill it. We're going to go for the more cautious drop, precautionary drop, and just work around the sides and hit the main base, make the Protoss player move that defense around, and open up some opportunity for yourself in that regard instead. That's what we do there as this Bio continues through the middle of the map. I mean, there's the drop in, a bunch of probes taking damage. And Bio really is just going to shove into that third base. Bio going to get the pylon. Robo depower. There's nothing on the third anymore. GG. ByuN is going to take the opening match of the European League 2025. And on the European player overcomes the European server and it's late night fighting for himself to get himself the first win. Like I say, it'll be difficult for ByuN. I do think there is a situation, right, where realistically ByuN is going to hit a point where like the server is definitely going to become a much bigger hurdle. Like there's definitely a scenario where like, for some extent, to some extent you can fight, to some extent you can kind of put it off, you can hold off, and so on and so forth. But there's a point where the server is going to become a problem, right? Like there's just no two ways about that. Like we can't pretend. So that definitely is going to be a likely scenario further down the line. But we'll see who ByuN gets in the next round. We'll find that out tomorrow after all of the first round matches have been played. So for now, ByuN taking NightPhoenix out. And our next matchup is going to be HeroMarine versus Hydra. Give me a moment. We'll go hunt down some players. Give it a couple moments and we'll kick off. And yeah, we'll run some ads and stuff between our first two matches of the day. HeroMarine's here. I'm just waiting for Hydra to log in. Give him a couple minutes. We are a little ahead of schedule. Pretty speedy first matchup of the day. And we'll kick this off with some TVP. So yeah, a couple TVPs to start the day. Then we're going to get our first PvP of the first round. I think there's 4 PvPs in total in round 1. There's going to be 2 today and 2 tomorrow. It's a very Protoss heavy tournament, guys. Europe is obviously a Protoss dominated region. And when a lot of the top guys do not play, the skew goes more towards it being Protoss favored, right? So when you don't have a Clem or Rain or a Serral or somebody, right? Lambo is sitting this one out as well. You've got a lot of the non-Protoss players that are prepping for the big tournaments. A lot of the filler players that kind of come in, at that next level down in Europe really are Protoss, and so we have a lot of Protoss representation. So there's a lot of Protoss. That's okay. We'll be casting some of PvPs. We'll be casting a lot of Protoss matchups. And yeah, we just hope our player is going to be here in the next few months. Otherwise, we'll have a bit of an awkward time sitting about waiting. So yeah, they said they could play any day. I sent them the info. Hopefully they read it. Cool. How's everyone doing then? What's it feeling like? Twitch chat, YouTube chat, hello. If you're on YouTube, take a second to hit the like button. Really appreciate it. Takes a second. Helps the stream out a whole bunch. SC2 is now Onitos. I think it's just... I think it's like there's this really weird thing where like a lot of the players that have stuck around have been Protoss. There was a time where we had like so many Zergs as well, and like Europe used to be a really Zerg-dominated region. And just like it's really weird how like I get it, Protoss is a bit better now. You can say that Protoss is maybe easier to play, whatever, but like it is kind of wild that like a lot of the players that have moved on were the non-Protoss guys, and a lot of players that try and stick around still are the Protoss. I feel like there's more of a coincidence to that than like a genuine like Protoss is easy. That a lot of kind of narrative that a lot of people try to make and stuff. So yeah. All right. So we have had a reply from our player. Yeah, a couple of moments and we'll be able to get into some videos, and then Hydra vs HeroMarine will be starting up for our second best of 3 of the day. Like I say, guys, I fully expect these first days to have a couple of more one-sided matchups in, and I think this could be one of them where Hydra has been leveling up and playing well and doing well. We've actually seen him play in a WardiTV June event just recently, although he had a pretty rough group. But HeroMarine is qualified for the EWC, right? Like, there's no point beating around the bush right now. Like, we have a player who's qualified to the World Championship. Admittedly, got in there on pretty much the last chance. But we have one guy qualified to the World Championship, and we have one guy who is, really still pushing to be like a bit more of an up-and-coming when it comes to the pro scene in StarCraft 2. So there is no shame in just being frank that this one is absolutely going to come in with HeroMarine being favored. But that's what this tournament is meant to be kind of really cool for. Like, yes, your first round is going to suck against HeroMarine, but if you end up losing and you're 0-1, the next player you play is also going to be 0-1, right? And, like, there's a really good chance to balance it out. And so the whole point of this tournament was not just to have the superstars of Europe to come in and do battle and to see, MaxPax hitting Clam and whatever else, Like, there's so much more to that. Like, this is meant to be, you know, a celebration, or like a kind of a representation of just Europe as a whole, including the players who are not at the top of the top, the players who are not qualifying for EWC out of Europe. So this tournament's really designed to kind of capture that, where even as players kind of get to the point where they can't progress to the playoffs, we will still see them playing competitive matches. There's a bit of prize money on the line. So again, there's really that idea, like the whole kind of point of this tournament is to represent the European players and to give them a chance to play, even if they are not necessarily right up there at the top swinging away. You know, yeah, some of these guys, I mean, someone is going to have to go 0-5 in this tournament as well, unfortunately. That's also just the way it is. But the closer you get to going 0-5, there should be that chance of you kind of putting up more competitive matches as well, because like I say, you will play against more and more people who are more towards your kind of level, your scoreline in this tournament as it goes on. So, I mean, we'll see how it works. I don't think I've ever ran Swiss before, so it'll be very fun. And this is proper Swiss as well. It's not like the ESL Swiss, which is pretty much just like you win 3 and you're through, or anything. Like, you keep on playing in this one, so you don't just lose 3 and you're out. Like, you can still bring some scores back and stuff, so yeah, there'll be a couple things to note there. Yeah, just waiting for player to log in, and we'll get some videos started, get into some TVP. Hope NG recharge gets turned down a notch. It'd be interesting to see what our next set of balance changes are at some point. I mean, I imagine we see some balance changes after EWC, so I'd be very interested to see what those, what they do with that. Balance line from Gary Arganis. Is it really that big of a shocker that the least mechanically demanding, most OP and fun to play with race has more representatives, while the race that struggles the most doesn't? It's like people don't like not being able to have fun. I don't disagree. Like, there probably is something to it. But I do think there's just like a bit of coincidence as well. Like, you know, we've also had like some top level Protoss players step away from the game. You know? It just so happens that, like, it in the same way that, like, you know, I also think there's something to the fact that, like, at the end of the day, at the very top of the top, we have very few Protoss players compared to, like, Terrans and Zergs. I don't necessarily, you know, I always felt like that was not necessarily because Protoss was weak, right? It was just that we didn't have as many representatives to go out there and to, like, you know, we didn't have, you know, as many top-tier Protoss continuing to play the game still. Which is kind of wild. You know, when it was really only MaxPax and Hero competing, and you know, MaxPax doesn't even play offline events, so the only player going into a tournament that you think has a chance of winning it is like you know, a Hero, and your secondary choice is like a Showtime or a Classic or somebody. But yeah, Protoss are probably not going to have those results where they pop off and they go huge and stuff, right? Like, Zan returning is a big thing for Protoss. Class again back on form. Showtime still looking good is a big thing for Protoss too, so yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm yapping just because we're buying time for our players to log in and veto. The vetoes have now begun, so we're probably like a minute, 2 minutes away from getting into game and getting back on track. Dark left for military. That's very sad, losing a Zerg. There's so few Zergs anyway, the more we hold on to. I mean, I can't imagine Solo probably has to go to military at some point too. Like, Zergs are like becoming a rare breed, man. It's rough. Trap and Zest and Stats haven't come back. Well, Zest didn't come back at all, but Trap came back. Trap was really good. I was talking about this at Home Story Cup, where like one of the few players to actually challenge Clem for a while was Trap. Like, he might not have been beating Clem, but he looked like he had a chance to be a top tier Protoss player. And then he just decided, I mean, he retired before anything got announced for EWC. He decided to stop investing the time into it. Stats came back for a bit last year, and then just wasn't good enough. Clearly did not continue that push. That's unfortunate. Alrighty, guys. Incorporeal Torches, Magnatha, Ultralove, Persephone are our 5 videos so far. And last video will be Last Fantasy because, you know, as expected, Last Fantasy and Best of 3 doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And Hydra will veto that one out as kind of expected here. So we take that one away. We go to Pylon for map number 1. It's going to be a little bit of a similar opening to the last series, but obviously we had Last Fantasy map 2 last time. I can't imagine we get that this time around as well. I'll drop the lobby link down. We'll get the players ready in just a moment or so. And get this ready to go. Again, you're watching the WardiTV European League first round, first day. Again, we're here today and tomorrow for round 1. Then Saturday and Sunday, we're actually going to go earlier in the day. A little bit more towards my usual streaming time on Saturday and Sunday, just because there's actually a lot of stuff going on over the weekend. So going to try and avoid some qualifiers and stuff. So, yeah, there'll be a little bit of dodging done there. So, yeah. And then we'll be, like I say, back Tuesday, Wednesday next week for more action as well. So, should just in general be a whole bunch of fun. As HeroMarine readies up. Ready in GLHF says Hydra. Let's kick off. Let's jump in. Let's get this ready to rumble. I'm going to count down into Pylon for this opening game of our second best of 3. Obviously, for all the players that you're seeing play today, they're showing up for one best of 3. This is all their opening match of the tournament, right? So their chance to get to 1-0 or, you know, having to scrape down to 0-1. See what happens. SOS is back to... Yeah, that was really amazing to see SOS just pop up out of nowhere. I'd actually never met SOS before until Home Story Cup. He was a very pleasant guy. Definitely having a bit of fun. So it was cool to see him there. Yeah, he really just, like, tweeted, like, hey, I'm looking for a team. And I was like, huh? And then he qualified for GSL, and I was like, huh? Like, that's crazy. he really popped up out of, you know, off of, you know, from off the radar. Like, he was not being followed by anybody. No one was expecting SOS to show up. But yeah. Alright, guys, thank you for your patience during a little bit of downtime, like I say, between the games. Sometimes it just takes a moment, especially when every single match is between 2 players who are not already here, right? Every single match is, you know, 2 new players have to log on, get their videos ready, etc. There's no continuation and so on, so sometimes it just takes a few moments. As we are going to have in the bottom right-hand side, the red Terran player is going to be HeroMarine. Again, qualified into EWC after being 0-2 down against Goblin. He did make it, and it'll be very exciting to see if he can possibly... I love to see what Gabe comes up with for EWC. To me, Gabe is always this player who... He's such a good preparation-based player. I cannot imagine that, you know, now he's got EWC to focus on. He's going to be looking like a completely different beast over the next couple of weeks. Hydra in the top left is our blue Protoss. He was also at Home Story Cup. Spent a little bit of time chatting with them and stuff, so it was nice to meet them again. They've been at a couple of home stories in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I've had them in a couple of WardiTV tournaments as well in the past, so nice to have Hydra with us once more as we settle into game number 1 here on Pylon. Opening game. We'll see what the plan is going to be. Factory dropping down. Just seeing the Cybercore and the Nexus coming up. The factory going to be the choice from HeroMarine just after a command center. So very safe opening from HeroMarine, who honestly will probably look at this matchup and say, you know what, going into this, I feel confident, right? Like, I feel that as I go into this match, I'm the favorite. So HeroMarine is just going to want to play fairly standard. I imagine he's not going to want to take too many risks. I mean, he was playing like this Drilling Claws opening during Home Story, which I don't think is necessarily going to be like a super meta or anything, but it might just be good enough to set him up in this kind of game as well. Did he play Hydra at Home Story Cup? He was Hydra's group. I'm forgetting myself slightly. No, Hydra's in the group with Zaunu, Thermal. Yeah, okay. Yeah, HeroMarine played against Sebesdes, SOS, and Hostum in the group stage. That was it. Yeah, I was just thinking about it because I was like, he played against so many of the pros guys. I was like, was Hydra one of the guys he cranked out that Drilling Claws build against? I mean, exactly what he's doing right now. The Armory coming down and the Cyclone coming up. And the idea is you get Drilling Claws and then you can basically just build a few Widow Mines. He only builds like 3 Widow Mines and he moves away from mine production. So this is not... You know, if I was watching this and I hadn't seen Gabe play this build over Home Story Cup, I would have supposed or assumed that this was probably going to be, you know, many Widow Mines. You never stop building them and you just drop. You keep the pressure up throughout. That's not what HeroMarine has been doing at all. It's 3 mines, you drop them 1 time, then you have Drilling Claws for later in the game if you go back into mines against a Zealot heavy composition. That generally has been the approach that we have seen. The Drilling Claws starting up straight away, like I say. I would have never predicted this myself. But we've seen HeroMarine do this a whole bunch of times over the weekend, so this is just, I think this is just going to be his build that he kind of uses in, like, online events right now, or just, like, you know, before EWC, he's not going to reveal too much, so he's just going to do it as, like, a different way to open. I can't imagine this is going to become his comfort build or anything, though. Let's just have that Cyclone going to patrol over on the corner. Blink is going to come through. The Observer and the Probe continue to come online. So we just get set up for a couple moments still. The Observer coming out, Marines and the Cyclone gathering as well. This Medevac going to boost on forward. We will take a couple of Widow Mines and load them up. It's going to boost straight out to the top left-hand side is going to be the choice. So head on over there with that for the moment. And again, the Drilling Claws going through, tanking a couple of Marines coming online. Tech Lab building on the starport. Medevac just continues to fly across and can take a turn up in toward the main base here in the next few moments. The Observer going to see the Medevac right there, so already noticing that. I mean, this is going to be already 2-3 Stalkers in position. A lot of the guys against this were going forging the cannons against it, which seems like a bit of an overcommitment, but it can be nice if the Widow Mines stay alive a long time. Having that continued constant defense against it without having to keep units back is nice, and right now this Medevac will sit kind of pinned in the dead airspace, but he's happy because that means, you know, to be pinned, you have to have some units that are pinning you. And that's the entire goal right now, is you're buying yourself time for a better army to build up, while your opponent keeps those units in position, and hence not on the map and poking away at you. Exactly, you know, exactly for a moment like this, 2 tanks, Marines, the Cyclone coming across the map. Turn in there, and we get ourselves the Cyclone. Not bad micro so far from Hydra. Like I say, the Widow Mines are going to be a concern. There they are. Sorry, I missed it as well. I knew it was about to happen. I wasn't watching the mini-map, though. As we will see the Raven just throws an auto turret down a little bit far forward. We didn't even kill the Raven. Uh-oh, Hydra. It's going to go very wrong very quickly here. Those 9 probes especially are a disaster. That's the problem when you start getting asked to multitask. And HeroMarine is very clearly in a very comfortable position early here. Because the gateways will be going down. It's going to be seeing the Pylon taking a little bit more damage. It's going to fall as well. I think we're going to have ourselves a... yeah, I mean, a pretty brutal situation. Apparently this mine just went off a second time. Yeah, mine's back in. They have 6 and 8 kills on them. So yeah, that's not ideal. We're going to try and clean this up, but this has just gone a little bit wrong. This is why the cannon would at least be nice, because the second round of mines would have never fired. But yeah, this is falling apart pretty quickly. GG. Not much to add to that one. I mean, like I say, this very well could be one of those matches in this opening round, which is going to be difficult for Hydra. Like, we just know this. This is not a surprise. Like, you know, no one's going to bat an eyelid if, you know, if Hydra loses this. So, no one's going to hold against him either, because Gabe's freaking good. And, like, Gabe is going to make the MMR difference, you know, be visible in some of these games. Like, there's just no doubt about that. I'm not sure what MMR Hydra sits at right now. Yeah, not currently ranked on his main account, but, yeah, I'm not sure what MMR he's sitting at, but obviously, like, Gabe is a beast. He's qualified to the EWC. He's one of the top 18 players in the year of the year right now. So, yes, it's likely going to be that Gabe makes this look a little one-sided in the opening round. I think what's going to be very exciting is to see how well Hydra can do when he plays against some of the other players, right? You know, when you look at Hydra at Home Story Cup, he went 2-1 against Mojo. Mojo's actually a very fun player as well. Like, he's had some very good games, so Hydra beating him is a little bit of a statement. So yeah, don't get me wrong, like, this is not going to be, like, an easy tournament for Hydra. He's probably one of the biggest underdogs, but it's only going to get easier, like I say, as the games go on and you start playing against more players that are kind of matching that similar score to you. What's up, Bass again? Thank you so much for the 34-month resub on the Prime. Feel like you haven't seen HeroMarine in a long time. Yeah, Gabe hasn't played too much. He did play a qualifier for something that wasn't the European League a while ago, and I don't remember if he made it in. I don't even know how long ago that was. I know Gabe took a little bit of a step back from StarCraft, but he still ended up playing and streaming a fair amount, so yeah. Be interesting to see what he does after this year's EWC as well, as we have in the top right-hand side. HeroMarine will be the red Terran representative of Mouse Sports. In the bottom left, Hydra is our blue Protoss. What's up in the YouTube chat? Hello, Windows. Hello, Goog. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. Good to see you guys. Thanks for watching today over on the YouTube stream as well. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. You can watch wherever is better for you. And you're watching the European League, our first tournament that officially builds into the WardiTV 2025 series, ending in our 2025 championship toward the end of the year. Again, more info on that further down the year, but for now, just know that basically top 2 of this tournament get a kind of a priority seed into that championship, and that is a big deal because it means that you can skip through some of the early rounds. Don't have to play as many matches. Makes the tournament a little bit more enticing for the top guys that can come out and win other events. Hey, what's up, Scaffler? How you doing? 4 month resub as well. Thank you so much. How was the Home Story Cup cooking? Do you mean the cooking segment where Fiant made the most horrific looking pancake? I can't believe HeroMarine gave this a 6. It almost made me want to go and try it because I was so intrigued as to how it was actually going to be. Like, I couldn't believe it was a 6. I mean, maybe it was a 6 because it was going to make him sick later. Maybe that bit of wordplay going on there. I don't know. Marine gets that probe kill, so that's going to be a nice little grab early. Let's just have a Cyber Corner next. It's coming through, similar coming up, factory in the CC building as well. And we just settle down. It's going to be a tech lab. Then he cancels into the reactor. Did I try the food? I didn't try the pancake, but I did eat the rest of the food that was at Home Story. Well, some of it. I had a little bit here and there. Chili's always very good. There's certain things of the Home Story food that's always like very consistently good. I also honestly like going out and getting a kebab. I honestly like going out to eat from the venue simply for the fact that you get to go out of the venue for a while. Like, it's nice to remember that the world outside is not, you know, a dark, dungy gaming bar at some point of your 13-hour day inside that place. So I try to eat outside, even if it's just walking across the road for a kebab, just for the, you know, a little bit of brightness, a little bit of a reminder it is in fact daytime. Did Gabe make pizza? Yeah, I didn't get any though. I got scammed, man. I saw Logo had some. I went to get some. I saw the admin pick a bunch up and take it downstairs for someone. And then there was no more. Gabe had to go play StarCraft. And then he made some later on, but I'd already eaten. I had to eat by then, so I did not get any Gabe pizza this time. Surely next time. You travel to Krefeld twice a year. You only get Gabe pizza one of the 2 trips. Like, that's a disaster. It looked very hot under the lights with all those people. Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, let's talk about this Hellion drop, because this has potential to end the game if you get in and do too much damage. So the 4 Hellions are going to load up. We're going to go unloading into the main base. A couple Stalkers get warped in. The Hellions are going to go for the dive. Nothing is really... I mean, the 2 Stalkers warping in are kind of in position, but the probes are in trouble, and that's already going to be 8 workers. This is already looking to be somewhat near game-ending levels of damage. I mean, 11 workers. The fact that we've still got 4 Hellions is very concerning, because you're going to have one-shot potential for a serious amount of time still. That 1 Hellion here lifts back up. 17 workers down. HeroMarine is going to kill Hydra with the Hellion drop. And our second match of the European League is going to be another non-Protoss showing up and popping through. Just like that. Blink on the way. Probes on the way. Stalker's going to gather. 19 probes dead really is a bit of a factor there. And yeah, a couple more probes. The Observer and the Blink all coming through. You have those Stalkers still heading across to the middle of the map and to that upper right-hand side to try and counterattack, but this is very, very good for HeroMarine. But yeah, my response to the, you know, the fact it was hot, it was very hot. Honestly, the entire day during Home Story Cup, all I could really tell you about how I felt was I was hot. Like, it was warm, it was very... What was really annoying was on the couch, because it was like a, you know, like a leathery couch, I was just sticking to it, so like moving was like a real pain in the ass. So like I was uncomfortable because I was hot, but then if I tried to move, it was also uncomfortable because you had to, like, you were stuck to the couch. Oh, it was grim. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it was just hot. Was it full of gamer BO? No, actually. Honestly, everyone at Home Story Cup, there's not a BO issue at Home Story. People, yeah, you'd think it would smell bad, but actually it really doesn't. I've never had this with Home Story, actually. StarCraft nerds are hygienic nerds, apparently. Both Stalkers getting whacked, Observer goes down. And these Stalkers are trying to do something, but there's very limiting amounts that they can really get done at this point. sniffling towards the back, but I mean, they're getting absolutely beat up on. 4 army supply in the game is going to be 2, and this Stalker goes down. Hydra is in a world of trouble. It's a very tough first round draw, but unfortunately, there's not really much else you can do about it. You just got to try and play these situations out. What's up, Twastat? Thank you so much for the 58-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for supporting. As Marine Tank comes forward, knocks the Adept down. We're really on a position right now where, let's just be realistic, like, this is over. You know, this is not one I'm gonna hype up. 3 Stalkers in the building. Colossus do not defeat this Terran army. This Stim Combat +1 are gonna be done when HeroMarine hits the other side. Hydra knows it. He's not even gonna make HeroMarine go all the way across. GG's. We knew this was gonna be probably one of our more one-sided matchups. We had one of the very best players in the tournament taking on, you know, I think again fair to say probably one of our biggest, bigger underdogs in the tournament as well. Like I say, as the tournament goes on, we'll see what Hydra can do. We'll see what HeroMarine can do as well, as he'll be taking on more players further down the line. Alright guys, that's 2 matches completed. Up next, we are going to be getting into some Krystianer versus Sebesdes. PvP action! Oh yes! You guys better get comfortable with the PvP, because there's going to be a little bit of it coming up throughout this event, most likely. When you've got 14 Protoss players, there's a good chance of seeing some PvPs, especially as 2 of them are already 0-1. Oof. Oof. Alright, I just need to find Krystianer, so I'll shoot him a message to see Sebesdes in the channel. So we'll run some ads, and we will grab Krystianer. Cool. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? Thank you for the resubs and the primes and everything, guys. Appreciate it. Actually stayed just above 500 subs recently, which is really nice, but would love to start pushing that back up towards 700. That said, next couple of weeks, honestly, the last 2 months, 3 months has been pretty rough in terms of just consistent streaming. I'm actually at a point where I'm like, I'm uploading videos from my YouTube from like the 10th of June, so like about a month ago. But I only have like 6 or 7 I haven't streamed that much recently. So amazing that we're above 500. I mean, we're obviously going to stream a bunch this next week with European League and Mondays. But then it's Helen's birthday and we're away for the weekend. When I come back from that, I'm home for like a week. And I'll be doing like 3, maybe 4 streams. But I'm going to be going to EWC. It's also that awkward period, right, where it's like I can do a couple of things, but it's hard for me to put more content on because everyone's going to EWC, or the majority of people are going to EWC that really, we make events around. So I'll be gone for EWC. Once I come back at the end of July from EWC, we'll have European League, we'll have Summer Championship. Then about a month from there, we'll be pretty full of StarCraft. I do get married at the start of September, so I imagine that week will be much quieter as well. So it's kind of just a weird bit of period of the year. But I promise you guys there is intentions to run as much StarCraft 2 as possible, so yeah. Alright, we'll give Krystianer a couple minutes. We are a little ahead of schedule as well, so maybe he's just in a warm-up game or so on a different account or something, so we'll give him a couple minutes and give it a few moments. Exciting stuff. First you hearing congratulations, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm in that phase right now where I'm like, I wish it was just already here so that I didn't have to do the build-up anymore. But, yeah, we're like 2 months away, man. It's kind of crazy. Taking a week off? Well, I didn't say I was taking a week off. I just presume I might have to take some days off, you know? At the very least the wedding day, but we have a lot of people traveling in, so I'm probably going to be spending some time with people who fly in and stuff from around the world, so yeah. Gonna be, probably a little bit less active. I was saying we should probably just do like a StarCraft 2 live stream from the house the day before. Do some selling out, Some real content, when everyone's here. Yeah, I know. It's tough not to question the Wardy passion, right? You know what? I've just been away last week at a StarCraft event instead of on my own stream. Like, where is the passion? It's a true question. You're excited? Good. I'm also excited. I'll be more excited if our players are here. I am looking for Krystianer to arrive. I do not see him. I messaged him. He's online on Discord. We just give it a couple moments. Like I said, we'll give him about 5 minutes because well, the official match time is in like 3 minutes, so we'll give him a few minutes to get to there. We'll give him a few minutes after that. We have a backup plan, although I just see a Discord ping. Cool, he's on his way. Like I say, like we're just a little bit ahead of schedule, so maybe it'll just take a couple of minutes. No Clemo Cyril? Yes, guys. Well, Cyril doesn't usually play anyway, but I actually didn't even ask Clem because he's off to Korea and he's getting ready for EWC. So yeah, I really think it's not too surprising to see, you know, to see, you know, some less players right now. I knew players were going to be an issue for this event, which is why I made it the European League, because I really felt like this is a region I could do with, like, you know, a tournament that can deep dive into some of the deeper talent in the region rather than just focusing on the top 5 or so, you know? So that's why this tournament is now before EWC instead of, like, a Korean Royale, where we probably really would not have a lot of players who wanted to play. Or something even more open just in general, right? Because, yeah, I don't think we'd find much of a different player pool any which way, so. Exactly do I marry? I don't know if we can divulge that information, you know. Can't just give out rogue wedding invites on the stream. Can you imagine? The whole stream shows up to the wedding like, huh. The venue's like, hey, you didn't pay for this many people. I'm like, I know! And just be like, look, these people can come in. If anyone else is coming in, they're going to have to pay their own way, you know? Yeah. Videos are coming through, guys, so this PvP is not far from kicking off. Like I said, we're about on schedule. We're about a minute away from this matchup meant to be starting, so they really are going to be pretty well scheduled. Sebesdes, I'm excited to see. I think this is one of the players who you might have thought coming into this would be one of the underdogs, and yeah, you know, they probably are, but you know, a third place finish in their group stage at Home Story Cup was, you know, very close to having a chance of getting out, but losing to HeroMarine, losing to SOS, did beat Harston, Kellerza, and Shino, so yeah, I really feel as though this is a matchup where, I mean, Krystianer is going to be the favorite, I think, but I think this is a very winnable match for Sebesdes, and I think that's going to make this a very interesting kind of series. Because to me, this is our first series of the day that's really a little bit more up in the air. Like, they're really, if either player, you know, whoever wins this, I don't think there's like a surprise factor. Like, yeah, I think Sebesdes is the underdog maybe, but more of like a 40-60 to like, you know, than what we've seen before, where like the underdog winning would have really been like a whoa, what a way to start, you know. So alright, I think this is the closest series we've had all day. We're gonna get into it in a couple of moments. Our PvP is readying up. 6 best of 3s in total today, guys. It's gonna be number 3. Is HeroMarine playing today? You've just missed him. His match has just wrapped up. I will not lie, it was a bit of a fast one. It's pretty speedy, so I wouldn't really say you need to go back and watch it if I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be completely frank. HeroMarine looked good. He beat his opponent up, so he'll be back on Saturday or Sunday. I think he can't play one of the days. I can't remember which it is. Or maybe it was tomorrow he couldn't play. HeroMarine cannot play July 4th. That's tomorrow. Yeah, so he'll be back Saturday or Sunday for his second match of the tournament, but we don't know which day that is just yet. We don't know who that will be against. As usual, trying to put player schedules first, so I asked all the players if any of the days don't work for them. So when we get them to play, or when we find out the matches for group stage, for round 2 of the group stage, we will then kind of put them on a day which works for both of the players. Like if one of the players was like, oh, I can't play this day, we'll do it on the other day, right? So we'll make it work for the players on their schedules. That's always something we try and do here. We always try and make sure that the players have as easy a time playing the tournament as possible. You know, we don't want to make it difficult for them to take part. We want to encourage them to come and take part in the future. If it's as easy as possible to play, they have as few excuses not to play as possible, right? Bottom left to start us off, it is going to be the Blue Protoss. It is Krystianer as we enter our very first PvP of the WardiTV European League. Again, we're probably going to see a lot of these throughout the event. But, yeah, Krystianer going to be in that bottom left-hand side. He's taking on Sebesdes. I really think this is an interesting matchup. Sebesdes has been playing well. He played well at Home Story 2-0 against Harston. His a bit of a statement for sure. So we'll see what happens. What's up, Notify, on the Prime sub, by the way? Thank you so much for supporting. A fresh new Prime as well, always great to see. We also have Soulman coming back for the 8-month resub on that Prime as well. Thank you so much for priming us up. Let that be a great reminder to everyone else. Like, if you've got a Prime sub sitting there, just chilling, doesn't have a home right now, give it a place to live, let it be a WardiTV Prime sub for the month. We'll turn that Prime sub into StarCraft 2 tournament prize money, so check that out. Hit that sub button if you've got the Prime available. We super appreciate it, as we do already have differences being made in this PvP early. Single gateway from Sebesdes, taking on the double gateway opener from Krystianer. So obviously Sebesdes wants to look toward an expansion early. He is just going to go... He's actually building a Zealot right now to make sure he can get rid of that probe. We'll see what comes out of the Cybercore, finishing probably a Stalker or Sentry, obviously a big possibility as well, and that's exactly what we're going to go into. So we get a Sentry in the way. So just Zealot into Sentry. 2 Adepts from Krystianer in comparison. Going to be kind of rough to hold off the aggression of that... of a couple of Adepts with a Zealot and a Sentry, but we'll see how he makes do over the next few moments. As Ambush Sniper with the Prime sub, and Panic Don't Panic with the Prime sub as well. See, that's what I'm talking about. Some people finding their Prime subs, hitting us up. Super appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support. There's the energy overcharge that allows the hallucinations, and that's going to be pretty consistent scout and information available to Sebesdes now for the next little bit of this game. So that hallucination heading down to the bottom left-hand side. We also had Sebesdes is going to pylon block here too. That actually keeps the Adepts here, and if the Adepts go across the map, it means you're going to let this pylon block stay, in which case your Nexus gets really delayed. So it is delaying the Adepts from crossing. 2 more Adepts will finish, the Stargate finishing as well, and Sebesdes scouts all of it with the hallucination, so he sees everything that's going on in the early stages of this PvP. I actually got to cast a series with Sebesdes, and it was a really cool series because, it was a really cool cast because I always like casting with the pros when they have a very analytical approach, right? And you can kind of really just learn from them. It's always really fascinating to listen to someone who's, very into his matchup and very into what he was talking about, and really came in with like a lot of explanation to kind of share. It was very cool to listen to him talk about. I think we casted a bit of PvT and a bit of PvP, if I'm not mistaken, at Home Story. So that was a very cool, cool cast. Like I said, it's always nice to sit back and just listen to the the pros talk, right? Learn so much, take it in, absorb it, regurgitate it when I try and cast in the future. Probably regurgitate it incorrectly, but at least I try and sound smart, These Adepts are not finding a way in just yet. The battery is obviously a big help, and definitely would do a lot to keep the sentries alive for a while. We are going to commit here, though. Split the Adepts into 2 pairs, and we're a bit out of reach of the battery. Notice that Zealot isn't going to be able to do much. 1 Sentry high ground helping as well. Forcefield's trying to get these catches. We lost 3 workers. Bit of a shame not to get rid of any of the Adepts, as all of them shade up into the main base. We do have 2 Stalkers here, but this is now 7 workers going down. My main concern is the fact that, there's this Oracle as well. It comes in too. Now that's 11 workers. I was going to say, for all this Adept damage, it's just going to make more opportunity for the Oracles as well. Second Oracle shows up. There's 13 workers killed. I was going to say, the Stalker's right here. I think that Oracle made a mistake. Oh, you're kidding me. It's out of there on, 2 HP. I was going to say 1 HP, but, better be accurate. There's a much faster blink from Sebesdes, but the problem is he's being forced right now. Like, his hand is forced. He's got to go. And if he goes, where's the defense against the Oracles? Well, it doesn't exist, right? So that's going to slow down your warp-ins. You've got no warp-ins across the map. He has significantly more right now, but Krystianer is just chrono boosting gateways because he knows he's in a fantastic position to keep this game in his favor. He just has to defend, and it's hard to imagine Sebesdes is going to make this work because, like I say, he's not going to have warp-ins. He has to fully rely on, walking from over here. I like the hallucinated probes. I believe he's looking to get rid of any stasis wards that might be in position straight away. There's actually not any stasis wards. We use the first force fields. He doesn't even have blink yet, but I think he understands the need to just go, and just to commit. Actually, very good force fields again, but he could really do a blink to save a couple of these low HP Stalkers. Extra warp-ins coming through. I mean, he's killed 5 probes, but he's down half the worker count. He needs more than 5 worker kills right here. Those Adepts and Oracles combined really did a significant amount of damage, and Sebesdes has to back it up. He just has to type GG. Just lost too much, was not set up to be aggressive off the upgrade he was investing into, and that is going to bring us to a 1-0 lead for Krystianer. The PvP comes in with some ferocity right there as we'll be heading to Magnatha for Game 2 in the next couple of moments. Yo, what's up, Soulman? Thank you so much for the 100 bits as well. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for bitting us up. priming us up, bitting us up. Thank you very much indeed. Let's move a couple people around. And yeah, go. Gets called straight away. Instantly heading into this game number 2 of our 3rd series of the WardiTV European League 2025. Again, opening round. Fun to see again how this one really develops over the next few. I honestly, even just like, I'm super excited to see the round 2 matchups, honestly. And really, like, after this weekend, we'll have such a fascinating view on where this tournament is, like, set up to go and what the next matchups are going to start looking like and everything. So, yeah, going to be very cool. As right now, we dive into the top left corner with the Blue Pros player, Krystianer. He is up 1 after that very speedy PvP. Nothing too surprising about a fast PvP. But yes, very speedy. He's in the top left with that 1-0 lead against the yellow Protoss in the bottom right-hand side, Sebesdes. It's quite the name, isn't it, Sebesdes? Sebesdes. Asked someone to say it 5 times in a row when we were on the home story couch, and it really did sound like the beat to a song. It's like Sebesdes. It was funny. I wonder if he made it like this, because it almost looks like he just writes Seb in like many different ways. It's like Seb, then Bez is like said backwards, then Dez is like said backwards again in a way. Like, it's a very interesting name. It's cool. I like it. Tell you what, after spending some time with BabyMarine in the basement of Home Story Cup trying to come up with a new game attack for him, it's difficult, man. Like, I don't know how you make these things up in this day and age. I have no idea how you make these things up in this day and age. It's not easy. And back in my day, I just whacked a few little words together to make a name. I mean, you know, my name was kind of easy because it's just my nickname in real life, but you know, for my alts on WoW and stuff, I just spammed some letters together until I found something that sounded cool, you know? It's not as easily done as you think, as that's going to be Krystianer pylon up onto the map, so a bit of aggression here, as we are going to be seeing him heading into the second gateway once again, so we'll see what this aggression turns into. I mean, he's going to have Cybercore done soon, pylon finishing, so he can drop down this proxy ASAP. Stargate Robo? What are we thinking? I was going to say it is far enough forward to be a Robo. Stargate probably would have just gone more toward the edges, right? Would have just made sense. Sentry in the warp gate coming up here from Sebesdes. 2 adepts in the Robo facility coming online, so we just get set up across the board. Probe is going to chase another probe down as we head into the main base. Sentry going to pop from the gateway. Warp gate still coming through. The Sentry will activate straight onto the probe already. Hops a hallucination onto the map. That is, oh, it's almost very well sent, but it's going to turn a teeny tiny bit too soon. Oh, he returns a good scout from Sebesdes then. Okay, that looked as though it was going to be very scary, but now he gets a full confirmation of what's up. Took a moment to realize that he actually only just now pulled back to like click on it and to see, okay, that's a Robo. But obviously now the information is there. Proxy Robo, you maybe don't know exactly what the variation of this is going to be, but we'll see what his response is going to be. He's got plenty of sentries and force fields coming online. He adds 2 additional gates on. The issue is going to be the lack of Prism Micro he'll have. But it is a Prism out of Krystianer, so it's not like it's going to be like the sheer power of an Immortal, at least not right away. We'll see if Sebesdes can find the defense here. Down a game in this best of 3. Krystianer looking to get him out of this game number 2 quickly, as the Warp Gate will get a Chrono Boost. A little cancellation in the wall off. The Immortal and a couple of additional sentries on the way out. And our gateways continue to gather in right now. Just going to be seeing those sentries still joined up. And here is the Prism. What are we going to try and do with it? There's a battery on that low ground we can utilize with the sentries. Oh, we do have a probe in position, so we can battery up over there. Those adepts will not get in. Yeah, this has been a fine defense so far, but now the Immortal is building. Are we worried for Sebesdes that this is not going to be like a Robo of his own coming online? Like, I worry for him a little bit for sure. Like, you know, if he had a Robo on the way and, you know, there's an Immortal in the potential, you know, vicinity of spawning, I'd feel way better for him. Right now, just pure gateway unit production. I mean, it is nice to get some HP off the Prism, because that does mean it's going to be easier for you to maybe target that down in a key moment. Lots of force fields available on either side. He obviously is out DPS right now, but he does have the batteries to help. Another Sentry warp in, so very Sentry heavy. A Sentry is really going to be able to do enough here. Good force fields going to block the Immortal back. The Prism would have to bring that forward right now. The force fields have been great, and honestly, The batteries did a lot of work here as well. They drained and they kept these sentries really alive. Now Guardian Shield fades, so maybe we don't want to stick around any longer. Krystianer has a significant amount more. I'm worried that these batteries are running out of energy, and we've just not really done enough yet. We killed one of the Adepts there, but can we actually get rid of these Immortals? Probes are now going to pull into this. There's the issue, is that the Prism can micro those Immortals back as well. So it's very difficult to truly get rid of them. That's the power of this push from Krystianer, but Sebesdes has held nicely so far. I didn't realize he went Stargate, so you'll have a Phoenix showing up. That allows him to lift an Immortal. If he lifts the Immortal, it can't go back into the Prism, so that's a guaranteed kill if he has the DPS to right-click it. Could also just use the Phoenix as a way to hunt the Prism down, which could be a big deal as well. Yo, these sentries are putting in some serious work. A couple of Zealots warping in too, not units that you chew through quickly with the Immortals or the Stalkers. Sentry's taking a lot of shots. We're out of battery energy as well, which is definitely a factor, but we are chasing this away, and the Sentry defense has been real. Here's the Phoenix showing up. We can lift up something right now. What do you want to lift? I was going to say, I feel like we should have lifted an Immortal there. Oh, Sebesdes, I think, just chased a little bit too far forward. A little excited about this. I mean, he's going to get rid of the Prism. That Sentry eating some battery energy up as it's just fighting on its own. Now we lift up one of these Immortals from the fight. I just don't know if we've got enough units anymore, right? I mean, Sebesdes is still on a lot of work. There's none of them on the low ground to help. This would be a perfect moment for some probes to pull in and to help out. He does still have a couple of Zealots that warped in, though. He's going to push the Immortals away. The Phoenix did its job of lifting one of those Immortals out of the fight for a long time. He can't bring any probes to the low ground because of that pylon blocking the way. Oh, sorry, the battery blocking the way to stop the Adepts from getting in. So that's made that whole thing a little bit awkward as well. As we just have this army backing away. And the Immortal getting lifted once more. So Second Phoenix obviously helping. Getting rid of the Immortals could really provide Sebesdes with just the answer here. And I think we have more or less gotten to that point where this is kind of a made defense. He's up at base. He's still got a good work count. And what a defense it was. Wow. I was genuinely amazed by all the sentries, I'm not going to lie. They were so freaking good, no? They just survived for so long as well. Good force fields. New Prism. Phoenix going to want to get on top of that. Obviously, you want to keep your Phoenix safe from the Stalkers, though. This is not over yet, but I think we've passed the scariest part of it. Like, we've passed the part where there was, like, multiple Immortals. There's one Immortal now. It feels very achievable. The Zealots are very tanky. I think this is fine for Sebesdes as we warp in a few more Stalkers. Night, the Phoenix is kind of keeping them distance. He's going to pull quite a few probes, though. He can afford to lose a bunch of probes, to be fair. That Immortal very low. Is it worth just grabbing the Immortal in the sky so you get rid of it? Like, getting rid of that damage output's got to be huge, no? Kill the Immortal. Oh, no, now you can just right-click the Immortal. The Prism's out of reach, but I don't think he realized it. Stalker numbers are powering through. The probes have to pull in. We did lift the Immortal now, and the Phoenix do not get targeted down, so they are going to live. Now they're going to dive forward. We should lose a Phoenix here, though. No new Immortal on the way. Sebesdes is going to get the GG out of Krystianer, and he is going to take game 2 of this series. That ties us up 1-1. What a game. What a defense. Very cool stuff. Great little PvP. And we're going to go to Persephone for the final map of this series. Alright, so we're going to get a game 3 for the first time of the competition. Very cool defense, like I say. Very different to expectations, and really just showing us the power of those sentries. Good force fields. Had a good economy, so was able to pull probes in a couple of times. Good batteries doing some healing. Very cool stuff. Alright, we dive into game 3 of this series, guys. Let's turn it into Persephone to see who is going to take their first win of the European League. I think whoever loses here is going to have a very good chance of looking good in the next round, because I think this is one of those matches where, like I say, to me, it's a little bit up in the air. So I think this is one of those matches that's really going to put a couple of players like this. It could go either way. I'm just going to say it again. It could go either way. Let's see what happens as we go to game 3 of this best of 3. Bottom left-hand side, the blue Protoss is Krystianer. On the top left-hand side, our yellow Protoss is Sebesdes. Can he get another map win? Again, it was a good home story cup for him. Love to see him showing up a little bit in the WardiTV European League, to be honest. It'd be cool. Two gateways of Krystianer, single gateway of Sebesdes. Set the stage early. Seb obviously has been looking to give us these early expands so far. Seb, of course, is moving into play. See what attack's going to be in the next few moments. As the minerals are stacking up from both players. It's a sentry from Sebesdes. And it's just a Nexus from Krystianer. Wow. Nexus of no units is kind of wild. And it's because Sebesdes didn't do anything to block it, right? So you just take it. You're allowed to take it early? Take it early. He'll be expanding later himself, as he will hallucinate, but he's only going to see those opponents up at gate. And going to be ahead in expansion timing as well at this point, so we'll be able to get some good info off this hallucination that goes across the map. Not if it then doesn't go across the map, though. As it's contingent on the idea that the hallucination actually scouts. But even just seeing the Nexus is going to be good info. Lets you know there's no aggression coming your way. Maybe you can turn the greed factor up a little bit yourself now, with the greed of your opponent coming through. Both players head to Twilight Council. Yeah, man. Krystianer's just ahead of the opening. Like, he has everything apart from a Zealot, but a faster Nexus, faster Twilight. Yeah, it's definitely been a better opening from Krystianer, but that doesn't mean we're out of this game or anything from Seb, just, you know, playing from a slight deficit. You know, if they trade very evenly from here, Krystianer would continue to have the lead, right? So, yeah, we'll see what happens when the Blinks come in. To be fair, the Blinks start in very similar timing still. Hallucination gets itself shot down. And Blink is just building up the hallucination, makes its way across the map.
Construct additional pylons.
Krystianer with the instant scout on this proxy. What's up, Captain Hair? Thank you so much for the 64-month resub. Welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I'm just going to take a third base, but Krystianer is just sooner. Like, he is ahead in this game. Unless Sebesdes is going to attack, which it looks like he is, but I mean, I don't know if he got enough kind of unit advantage to attack into the defensive position, to be honest. Good force fields, but Blink is available on both sides. Was a better start to the fight from Sebesdes. Kept the Guardian shield up for a while, but right now I think it's time for him to back away. Wow. Krystianer blinks in. I think it was time for him to back away, right? Like, it was time for him to leave. He's down by 5 workers still. Now you've got no third base, though. He's going to start the +1, but Sebesdes is just going to naturally keep on falling behind at this point. His position in this game is going to run him into trouble. Let's see if he can magic it away some way, somehow. Nice start, but it was a Stalker for a Stalker in the end. I mean, 2 Adepts trying to shade it at the same time as the Stalker's pressure into the natural is a good idea. Oh, it's a nice blink, though. He's going to recall. Probes pull. We can still get kills here with these Adepts, though. They need to synchronize their shots. No, opportunity missed. Okay, now he's going to get maybe a couple of kills. Chases the main, pulls the Stalkers there, but that's about it. We're just going to GG. That seems like a very anticlimactic GG, but honestly, it's... like, he's behind, but I mean... it only looks close because Krystianer had, like, 1,000 minerals banked when the GG came down, you know? Like, I was like, it shouldn't be close at all, and I was like, yeah, it's just because Krystianer spent the money, like... they were doing the same thing, but Sebesdes was doing everything so much later, right? And so... when that didn't work, he lost some more Stalkers. I think he just knows he's not going to catch up. He's going to type GG, and that one is going to go the way of Krystianer. So Krystianer is going to take his first win. I think Sebesdes is going to have a good run in this tournament still. I honestly think he's going to have some good matches further down the line. This was a competitive one already, and like I said, I think that's going to continue as we continue through the tournament for him. So excited to see more from him further down the line. For now, we go to BabyMarine versus MaxPax. Guys, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll come back. More StarCraft on the other side. BabyMarine, MaxPax, TVP up next. Welcome back, welcome back. These guys are super ready to go. In the top right, our red Terran player here is BabyMarine. That's in the bottom left, our blue pros is MaxPax. So thank you so much, SZ Solzak, for the Prime sub. Appreciate it, mate. Priming us up. Thank you, thank you. So, obviously I sent these guys out there, their groups, right? Or their first opponents. BabyMarine said, easiest opponent. Yeah, I was like, well, that's unlucky, mate. But I was like, the good news is, you either look like a god because you win, or you lose and you get to dominate from the lower bracket. So, well, not lower bracket, but from the 0-1 score position, you know? So yeah, excited to see what he can pull off. Obviously, this is going to be tough. But hey. Should have a lot of confidence after that performance at Home Story Cup, to be honest. Top 8. Even with the weaker player pool, it's still super impressive. And like I said, it's that kind of confidence and experience that can really propel players in their careers, you know, like, you know, when you've done it once before, you just get that confidence boost and you believe, and so much of StarCraft can be that kind of believing game of like, hey, I can do this, you know? So do you think that's a pretty major buff for him? As we get our way into this game one, obviously, of this best of 3. Let's see what the you guys want to do. Pelicans coming in depth in the warp gate coming up, Helene and the CC coming online as well. We had that reactor on, and we just got ourselves a little bit of setup then early. Single Helene, yes, starport comes down. A couple of SCVs here. Oh, the Hellion actually took a little bit of a beating from the Adept that they found. Did they actually get a kill? Yeah, the Adept went down, but the Hellion goes back to repair. Now the Reactor and a Tech Lab and the Starboard coming up, so we start to get that underway. See what the two Reapers can do. There's a Stalker in position. Do we want to just dive past that and go after some probes? Maybe. Stalker going to get a couple shots. He's getting a grenade. I like the grenade. It's going to save the Reapers. BabyMarine definitely becoming a very fun player to watch. Like, we don't get to see him all the time, but when we do, it's fun to see him showing up and delivering some cool games. One SCV going down, second SCV is taken out as well. The Hellion should be able to kill the Adept at least. The problem is that's 3 SCVs down and your command center delayed, so this early game has already gone a little bit off from your kind of initial expectations, so not ideal. Does Home Story Cup pay cast as well? It's definitely on the cheaper end of what you get paid. I would say like Home Story Cup pays half of what I would usually ask for an event. So yeah, probably, you know, maybe a little bit less than half, but can't really complain in 2025. I mean, Home Story Cup's the first offline event I got to cast since last Home Story Cup. So, you know, like, I ain't complaining. I'm very happy just to get to go to events at this point and get a little bit of money. It's always nice when you get to do other events, because it's always nice from my point of view to get paid from somewhere that's not you guys, in the sense of, like, you know, it's nice to be able to run my stream and be able to run my events without all the financial pressure being on the community, so yeah. But to be fair, I mean, we go into Home Story as well knowing that the casting's a very laid-back thing. 1 kill only on these winner ones, that's unfortunate. You go in kind of knowing the casting's a very laid-back thing too. I don't sit there and cast super seriously either, you know. For a lot of the day, I'm very much so a host, you know. Like, I just, you know, if there's 2 other people on the couch with me, I let them do a lot of the talking. I guide the conversation if it needs guiding. I let them do the cast, and I'm just there to, you know, because I know how to listen to production and do what production says if needed, you know. Yeah, home story cover rates have kind of been the same forever. As, I've kind of gone off topic at a bad time, because as you can see, it's not going super well for BabyMarine. He's lost 5 SCVs, only killed 2 pros. He just lost his siege tank in the main base as well. I mean, Cloak is done, so the Banshee can pop out and provide a defense here, but there's a lot of hits he's taking. I mean, this is just MaxPax, who's obviously an absolute beast, and is showing up with that early game already and getting some work done. I mean, like I said, the Banshee will be a pushback, but there's a lot of work is lost. The new tank gets in position at least. We'll see if BabyMarine can start to stabilize here a little bit. Yeah, home story Cubs always paid these rates. I mean, it's not really changed. I mean, it could be worse. It could have gone down as the scene has declined and so on. So, yeah. It's nice to still have an event. At the end of the day, can't really complain. My only complaint about Home Story Cup is that they took so long to hire me in the first place, you know? I went to like 10 of these things before they actually paid me to be there one time. Ay. And she does grab 1 probe off on the side. Stalkers are there to poke the Banshee away. Stimpak in the engineering bay coming up and online as well. The BabyMarine just got dove on back at home. The Stalkers just jumped on him. So he types out GG. This was always going to be a tough one for BabyMarine. I did not give it the same sort of intro I gave to like Hydra versus HeroMarine. Because I think, you know, let's be realistic. BabyMarine just came off of a great result recently, but the reality is that this is MaxPax against an underdog. So, yeah. It's sometimes going to look like that. Sometimes it's going to look just like that. After this guy's got 2 best of 3s as well, by the way, still remaining. We'll have Mana versus Showtime and Mixu versus Skillous. Mana Showtime's meant to be last, but I did offer them to play next if they want to, because I see them both online in the lobby chat. And Skillous Mixu is from replay. Something came up last minute, so they played early today. So yeah, there's that possibility that we might switch the order slightly around from what's on Wikipedia, just to give you guys a little bit of info on that. Just a heads up, but yeah, we'll see what happens after this this game. I sent this message in the chat, and then we went in game, so I didn't see if anyone replied or agreed. So I really have no idea, but just a heads up that that is something that could happen. Typically, if they're both online, I imagine they're both happy to play. So I'd rather, you know, get them done and wrapped up already, and let us, you know, and just kind of continue through. Anyways, top left-hand side, red Protoss player here is going to be MaxPax. Taking on the blue Terran in the bottom right, we are going to be seeing BabyMarine. Alright, game 2. What's up, you Thermal? The 128-month resub, BabyMarine the GOAT. Hell, yeah. It was crazy getting cheer for BabyMarine at Home Story. Like, it was so fun. Little underdog story. This was really, I think, what this Home Story was about. Like, seeing some of the guys that would typically get outpaced in the groups by, you know, by a guaranteed first placer, and then they're fighting over a second place that's extremely difficult to attain. It really added a little bit of excitement to it all, you know. It was very fun to see, and he played well. Honestly, I think he played fairly well against Ryung. I think he got outmatched by experience. But you have to have, like, this is his first top 8. Like, you have to find that experience from somewhere, you know? So, yeah. What's up, Dr. Differ as well, coming in with the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for priming us up. There's a couple of barracks come through. We are going to see this proxy with Tech Labs and Marauders get into full swing here in the next few moments. So first Tech Lab already morphing on in. Second barracks is coming up. And to finish that up, start a Tech Lab as well. MaxPax is scouting across the map, so MaxPax is already, in theory, aware of what is happening right here, which is that, you know, there's nothing that's, you know, on the other side, so there's very possible a very real proxy taking place. See what his response will be as the Marauders do begin. See what kind of defense MaxPax goes for. Obviously, Professor Shells with those Marauders starts a battery, so he's definitely aware that this is aggression. High ground as well. Doesn't look like he's going to try and defend the low ground at all. as the two SCVs and the first Marauder will step forward. A couple of ways you can approach this from BabyMarine. Yeah, there's the Stargate. That's going to put the timer on BabyMarine's attack. Because if you get a Stargate and a Void Ray, nothing from BabyMarine will fight that Void Ray. So you've got to start getting work done sooner rather than later here. See how BabyMarine approaches this. I mean, right now I think waiting for 2 or 3 Marauders is fine. That's going to get 3, and then he's already lifted the barracks to go home. And I imagine you lift the other barracks for high ground vision, and you just build a factory at home, and you just start to transition out of this. You're basically playing one base versus one base right now with the ability to have the map control in your own favor. Going to find that probe. Yeah, but like I say, like right now, MaxPax still doesn't know that this is going to be like more Marauders versus the barracks going home. Only when this barracks reveals itself for the high ground vision over here are we going to kind of really get that idea for the first time. So, yeah, a couple of Stalkers and the Zealot will start poking it back. And BabyMarine turns away. We'll see what he builds off the factory, because obviously he needs some kind of anti-air. Cyclone is nice, but can get caught by the Void Ray. Widow Mines can zone, but not always in position. We'll see what he does. The factory finishing shortly. Obviously nowadays it does need a tech lab to build these Cyclones. That's going to be some extra time until the Cyclone is out, and that Void Ray is already chrono boosting. I mean, as MaxPax, you rally this straight across the map. You've seen no sign of actual anti-air just yet. This Void Ray can do some serious damage as BabyMarine pulls home, gets rid of the probe that was scouting. The second probe kill of the game, but obviously none of it coming through in an aggressive manner because he never really poked at the front. There was no natural for him to poke onto. His own CC is ahead of the Protoss at Nexus, which is typically faster than what you see. Usually there's the Protoss who expands faster than Terran player. But like I say, it's that tech that's already online with that Void Ray coming across the map. I think they're actually going to go after this barracks as well, get a kill, but I actually think as BabyMarine, you're okay with this right now. Void Ray killing the barracks is a Void Ray that's not in your base, threatening your complete lack of anti-air, to be honest. I'm actually surprised MaxPax stops to attack. This is genuinely going to be a little bit awkward. Like, the Cyclone is just not ready yet. It's going to be super... I mean, we're going to lose depots at the very least right now. So at the very least we lose depots. Maybe even the barracks has to give up its reactor. Cyclone out. You need to get a lock onto the Void, but then you need to stay away. You can't let that get lifted by the Phoenix, because then the Void Ray will kill it. The only good news here is that the prismatic alignment's already faded, so it's a slower death, but yeah, you lose the Cyclone, now the Void Ray will continue to get to work. The Marauders are in trouble. There is no anti-air currently here. There's 2 Marines. And there's a Viking and a Cyclone on the way. Obviously, we have another lift available on the Phoenix already. I mean, you kill the Marauders, the Stalkers are going to be able to have a better time against the Marines that are spawning as well. And this is the problem with proxying 2 barracks, then just trying to go home as though nothing ever happened. It's unrealistic, and we out DPS the SCV repair on that Cyclone as well. And MaxPax is just going to go and, yeah. Just commit. SCVs keep going down. Viking gonna land. GG. Not the funnest opponent. Someone had to draw MaxPax in the first round. Unfortunately, it was our home story cup hero in BabyMarine. He will go 0-2. Another player, similar to Sebesdes, who had a fun performance at home story cup, I'm super excited to see in the upcoming rounds. I will not lie, guys. Like, I think it's fair to be frank that a lot of these first round matches are a little bit of a formality. You know? That's the way this tournament's going to be. But the tournament's designed to, like I say, have these matches early, and as we get closer and closer to the end, a little bit more contest in each of these games, right? So, I do think that that's a kind of an interesting way to kind of approach this and look at it. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to leave some room for intriguement. Let me figure out if yeah, cool. Mana and Showtime are going to play. So we're going to go Mana Showtime. This is a match that is not a formality, right? This is definitely a match where whoever ends up 0-1 here is 100% the player nobody else at 0-1 is going to want to draw into. Because these are both absolutely players who I actually could very much so see making the playoffs. Someone had to get a tougher draw in the first round as well. I say that's the fun part of this Swiss format is that, you know, if you get a tough round, you know, draw round 1, but you're kind of meant to do well yourself, you should be able to do very well round 2 as well, right? So, yeah, it'll be fun to see how this goes. There's PvP coming up in a moment. So yeah, we're going to swap Showtime Mana and Skillous Mixu. Skillous Mixu is replays, so it'll be, I'll send this, we'll just go into that one last. It just means Showtime and Mana are ready to play. Less waiting around on the evening for them, and more getting into some StarCraft action. So, sounds good to me. Hopefully sounds good to you guys. We're going to go into our second last match of the night here for the WardiTV European League. We have really sped up now as well. I guess these first couple of days really are probably going to be faster days. Probably should have known that in my head, but we're like an hour and a half in. We only got a couple best of threes left, but Mixu already 2-0'd Skillous? No, Mixu will play Skillous from the replays. I've no idea what the score is. Or is that just a joke? Reading Twitch chat's hard, man, you know. I'm in very serious mode. Twitch chat's having a good joke around. Yeah. Thanks for all you do, Wardy, to keep ST alive. No worries. Thank you so much for keeping the stream alive by being here and watching and providing your viewership and sometimes supporting beyond that as well. We would not be here without you guys watching. That's the most important thing we can ask for, so thank you so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. Persephone to be map 1 of this series. Get this hosted up and get this PvP underway. Man, it beats me to it. I thought I was being quick there, but I was not. Damn. Alright. Alright, GLHF gets called. Mana and Showtime going up against each other here as we dive into this PvP. Showtime coming off a tough loss in the finals of Home Story Cup. I think he knows he could have played better in that finals. I think it was genuinely just a tough series because he beats down early in the day, gets late. He played the very first match of the day as well, right? So it becomes a long day in the end. Yeah, just brutal. And losing out to that 4-gate at the very end as well was extremely brutal. As we have in the top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss play to kick off this best of 3. Like I say, to me, this is one of the more strongly kind of placed matches in this round 1. There's going to be Mana in the top left. Taking on in the bottom left-hand side, Showtime. Yeah, I mean, again, I mentioned Sebesdes Krystianer. That one went to 3 games. I could see this going to 3 games. I could see either player winning this. Showtime has been great lately. Mana has been absolutely on point lately. It was a shame he didn't do better at Home Story. Because, honestly, like, he's been playing great online. It was kind of sad. I feel like Mana's done really well in a lot of the online cups and smaller events and really has started to step up. It just didn't pull it out in the EWC qualifiers. Did not quite pull it out in Home Story either, so... yeah, a little sad. Really thought he could have had a couple of better runs at some point over the last few weeks in the bigger events, so... alas, as the brutality of StarCraft 2. Ain't an easy game to play. You gotta really make the most of any chance you get, really. Alright, well, PvP. We already talked a bit about PvP. But, see what the builds are going to be. It's going to be 2 gateways each, so already potentially heading into expand versus expand is pretty common nowadays. And again, players can get some sentries up early and really start to get that information with hallucinations, and then start working on some of the other kind of gateway forces beyond that as the program takes some nibbles. What's up, Screaming Waffles, by the way, is welcome into the 22-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. We had so many subs today, guys, for a little evening stream. Like I said, I don't usually stream at this time, so I'd love to see, A, the viewership being pretty strong, because it's our first day of the event at this kind of time, and B, the subs flying through. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hope you're all doing well. And like I say, thank you for supporting. It's been a great first day, and even Pulsar coming in with the donation as well. The WardiTV 2025 circuit, it's awesome. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, mate. We'll absolutely put that towards the funds of these events coming up. Again, this is all part of the WardiTV 2025 series. Again, European League top 2 players will guarantee themselves a seeded position into the 2025 championship, which means you skip at least an entire group stage. Last year, we actually you had those players skip the group stage entirely, and they started in the playoff bracket. So, I haven't thought of the format exactly for this yet. I don't know how many players we're going to have, but these seeds are A, difficult to come by because you've got to play big tournaments for them, and B, they're very good. They really do a lot for you, you know? So yeah, big positives there as those 2 Adepts try and shade up. 2 Sentries and a Stalker gathering in, and we just have the Adepts are going to go poking their way through the pylon. A little bit of damage as well. Hallucination flying by. The Oracle is going to be seen. Continue to come down to the bottom currently. As it flies straight in, the couple of adepts still putting some work onto the pylon here, so damage being done. Oracle will help to finish that off. That will be a pylon killed. It's actually not bad at all for mana early on, actually getting a pylon kill. Obviously, Showtime has the units to kind of play defense against this, just doesn't want to go to the low ground to do it, as we'll see the Oracle losing its shields there at the very least. You can see how quickly units can kind of lose their shields, and this maybe becomes a little bit more complicated. We're now losing more than just shields there again, but just about getting away. Dropped a Revelation down. The Showtime can really start mining from his natural now, so has been held up there a little bit. Mana just going to start mining his natural too as he transfers the workers in a big way to that low ground. Now, Showtime has a slightly faster blink, benefit of not having played the Stargate, and that's going to be his real kind of advantage for the moment, so we'll see what we can do from there. Asking for no Phoenix Wars in the chat. Yeah, it's working so far. It's working so far, as that hallucination continues to move about here. And the blink coming by. And that Oracle just heading down to the bottom. Sentries and the Stalker is going to move into position. Okay, we're about to complete. The other gate coming down. We'll just have our Oracle continuing through as well to just see the blinks continue to come into play for the moment. So we get that set up. A couple Stalkers going to be there. Chase the Oracle again. And the Oracle will get pushed away to that right-hand side. More Stalkers warp in, the hallucination coming through. Again, blink coming up, couple probes in the Nexus coming by. You got the Oracle still sat there, the Stasis Ward coming into position. Hallucination still moving by as well. Just going to see the Stalkers getting underneath that and going to be able to maybe try and get that grab. The Stalker blinking back. The Oracle still on a bit of a move around as well. Nexus charge. Forge coming up. We'll see the Nexus coming in on the third base as well. Let's get that settled. Again, the Forge all coming through. The Oracle still settling. I'm going to place a Stasis Ward on that left-hand side. And +1 charge building. Probes coming through. Gates being added on. Making our way down to the south. And Stalkers just gather, and we give it a moment or two, just sitting on that stasis. Man, they're looking to be the aggressor right now. Down a bunch of army supplies. Does not really want to attack in. As, yeah, his army supply is not quite there. Gets a warp in or so, but yeah, just wants to kind of control the map, I guess. Obviously, he has the Stasis Ward, so if he does get jumped on, he has the Stasis Wards to kind of fall back to. And right now, just trying to deny information, although this one hallucination will get out. Showtime, yeah, leads with the Stalker, blinks it back, setting Stasis Wards off already. The earlier you remove those, the less you have to worry about them when it gets to like a bigger, more kind of messy fight, and there's less time to really kind of handle the Stasis Wards. So, popping a couple already, just going to remove some of the opportunities for Manon to catch a significant portion of your army. It is frustrating, though. It's one of the big benefits of opening Stargate and Oracle nowadays, where just the fact that you can go into like Stasis Wards and have those on your side, like, it's just such a natural advantage for a significant period of time. And we have the +1 the charge coming through. Temple Archives dropping in from mana in the main base. The Stalker still pulling back a little bit. 2 more gates coming up. The Nexus halfway done. Stalker still heading towards that upper right side. The Oracle spawning in. Gonna come down towards the bottom as well. Stalker still gathering together. As you see, charge and +1 building through. That's a nice stage. It's going to catch a bunch of Stalkers already. We're going to get a little bit of a catch there. Stalker's going to grab a hallucination. The Zealots come back over as well. Add a few more Zealots into that on top of everything else. Again, charge and +1 continue to come through for now as the Archon morphs. +2 attack upgrade coming. A few more Zealots warp in. We managed to set up with an army that looks like it wants to go across the map, and if not attack again, same idea as before with the Stalkers, just feign aggression, hold map control because of it. Meanwhile, Showtime is just building his +2 as mana is, and just kind of matching him along the way. A couple cannons come up defensively for him too. A 4th base is up from both sides. Really just getting into a nice little bit of macro PvP, but Mana is going to instigate the fight. Does he have enough Zealots to really jump on this? Obviously, the one Archon does a lot of splash for you. He does have that army supply lead still, and Showtime's recognizing the lack of units he has. He's overwhelmed by the Zealots, and Mana showing up and delivering a punch right into the heart of Showtime's army, who is going to have to keep on stepping away. A few of those Zealots still going down. The probes evacuate off the third base that's being swarmed by Zealots too. I just don't think Showtime gets enough units up here. GG, Mana takes a quick and speedy 1-0 advantage in this best of 3. That was a brutal just blow right there. Mana just finding the opportunity, just send it. And both players were doing so many similar things, but Mana just always had that army edge and was able to take that army edge into a lead and advantage. Takes that one home. Alright, game 2 will be coming up then as we move from Persephone into our second map, which will be Tokamak. And jump straight into this, and we'll go into our second game. Ready and go-go's get called, GLHFs, and the countdown begins as Mana takes the 1-0 lead. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, both these players and, you know, being at 0-1 after day 1 is going to be like a kind of moment. But, like, especially if it's Showtime at 0-1, man, is he going to just... I really hope BabyMarine doesn't meet the loser of this matchup, because he's going to feel freaking hard done by. If he has MaxPax and then Showtime on Mana in the next round, that would be absolutely brutal, to be honest. So, yeah, let's see what happens as we head into game number 2 here. As we have in the top right-hand side, the blue Protoss player is going to be Mana. I just clicked away from him, but we'll click back to him as well. To the bottom left-hand corner, the red Protoss, Showtime. Sorry, I missed the YouTube comment, but did I end like Home Story Cup? Yes! It's always fun to be at Home Story Cup. It was so hot, is my only complaint has nothing to do with the event itself or anything like that. It was just freaking hot. Like, nothing really else to add. But yeah, otherwise it was a lot of fun. Always great to be at Home Story and hanging out for a few days, casting some StarCraft in a very chilled out, finds the heat environment. Anything goes, you don't really get in trouble. Just get to have a good time, you know? Catch it with people you've not seen in a while, cast with people you'll probably never cast with. I really thought one of my coolest casts the weekend was with VMG Nara, who I cast this guy in like an open cup or something at one point, and I remember casting him as well. Like, the name was familiar to me. And he ended up casting a series with me. It was really cool because, like I said, it's just a guy that I casted once upon a time, and, you know, at the time he was pretty good, but, like, you know, he played against someone really good and just got outmatched a little bit. I probably cast him because I wanted to see whoever he was playing against play the second round against someone, you know. That was genuinely, like, it was a cool game. Like, you could see where the level was and stuff. You know, he was getting hated on by Twitch chat because people can't understand you can be really good and still get absolutely demolished by the pros. That was just really cool. Cast with someone that, you know, I've had the slightest of meetings of online before. That was a very fun cast. Could have done better making sure I got shots when the donos came in. Man, it's not even that I wanted to take shots. Like, it was too hot to get drunk at that place. But, like, you know, they say in our ears, if you donate money, there's shots for the room, and then you didn't even see the shots until, like, day 3, man. It's crazy. I do like the green shots, though. They're tasty. Yeah, they're actually pretty tasty. But like I say, it was too hot to get drunk. I was literally, like, consistently drinking water. Like, the water was entering me at a rapid rate, and then I was sweating it out. So, yeah, it was very difficult to get drunk in those circumstances. It was a Blacksun247. Thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate you dropping the Prime on the channel. Thank you so much. Fear Dragon, I will... You are walking a very fine line. Helen did say she's on the verge of uninviting you from the wedding. Because you're giving her the ick by calling me Johnny. It's a very fine line you're walking, apparently. Fair warning, you know? My fair warning. Just letting you know. The Ultra ticket with unlimited water and energy drinks go in the summer. Yeah. I couldn't. I don't know what I would do if I was there and I didn't just have the fridge of water constantly. Like, I'd actually die. It's crazy. Does J-Dub better? Yeah, probably. How did Uthermal beat Geralt in the laser? Uthermal's really good, man. Like, Uthermal's always been really good. Uthermal didn't stop being a pro player because he wasn't good enough. I think he stopped because he didn't enjoy it anymore, you know? And sometimes Uthermal, especially when there's adversity, I always feel as though Uthermal shows up and kind of delivers, you know? I mean, a laser, I don't know how much a laser's really played lately, to be honest, either. I don't think Uthermal beating a laser was too surprising to me, but him beating Geralt was pretty surprising. The way he did it as well was very convincing. Showtime with this force field here is going to keep these Stalkers at bay, and Mana cannot break through. He's on his way to a Void Ray to help him break back down to his low ground, but there's Blink on the way at home from Showtime. The Oracle of Mana has had a single kill and not much else, and he has to cancel his Nexus, so he's in a world of trouble in this early PvP Game 2. But Showtime now controls his natural and, well, is not taking damage from the Oracle. And I guess the Void Ray will push you back, but you're talking about a finished Nexus here from Showtime versus Mana, who is still yet to expand. Now Showtime misses the force field, that's not good. If there's an opportunity for Mana, it's probably because you missed that force field and these Stalkers get to chase you down and kill a bunch of units. That maybe opens the door to going across the map and attacking, which might just be Mana's best option, but he's not set up for it at all. He builds a Robo now, and he does build a Nexus too, so he's still going to try and expand. I think he has to. Because, like, in a way, it's like, I think he actually has to commit to an attack, but he's so not set up to commit to an attack that I actually think he has to, instead, take the approach of just expanding. Like, he's so far away from doing what he has to do that it's probably better for him to make what is typically the worst decision, you know, which is to try and expand and play a macro game here when you're so far behind on the Nexus. You're going to be up against Blink with an Oracle and a Void Ray to show for your own tech. Okay, a Robo finishing as well. Maybe we can start getting Immortal out here, but the numbers are going to be there for Showtime, so... Wow, look at that. Just single files past the Stasis Ward. That's a little unlucky for Mana, who could have maybe gotten a few of those units to stop them coming across the map. Like, these Stasis Wards are wasted energy right now. They are not doing anything to help you defend, as you do not have Blink Stalkers. Your opponent does. There's force fields available here. This is scary. Battery is not even done yet for a couple of moments. Showtime leads in with one Stalker, trying to find if there's a, you know, again, just the Stasis Ward there defensively. We know that it's not. Void Ray taking a lot of damage. The battery is going to finish. Oh my goodness, he's just going to save the Void Ray with the battery finishing. I'm going to step forward, though. The problem is, being on low HP, obviously one volley, and you only have to get past the shield, is going to fall down dead. So that Void Ray goes down. Showtime does not have to leave now either. He can stick around and continue to Blink Micro for efficient trades as he looks to make up this Game 2 and tie this series right here. Immortal join us, Sentry, the rest of the Stalkers as well. I mean, Immortal out's obviously a better defense than what we've had, and that should keep Showtime a little bit at bay. Mana down by 7 workers. A little bit ahead on the +1 attack upgrade, but I like where Showtime is at tech-wise. His own Robo going to finish. A ton of extra gates coming online. This is stuff that Mana's not being able to afford because of the later Nexus. So right now it's 2 gates each. So it's going to be 8 gates versus 2 gates for a while. Like, something doesn't add up, right? Mana starts to invest in the Twilight Council. That's not army units. And honestly, I think he lost the Oracle at some point, right? Yeah, the Oracle's dead. So he can't Stasis Ward at home. I would have loved to see some Stasis Wards over here. That's the one thing that might actually really slow Showtime from continuing to, like, attack in a couple of times over. And Showtime's not going to attack into the Immortals just because I think he knows he can just wait to get the gates up, and then he's going to have charge slots, and there's just no answer for Mana in comparison. So I think Showtime knows he doesn't have to get aggressive too quickly because he knows that his time is coming. Like, the advantage is there for him. Prism coming up, charge and +1 finishing. Temple Archives even being added on as well. I mean, that's just a nice little bonus. I don't think it's necessary, but we're going to be able to add on to it. Now we do get caught in the stasis, but there's no way for Mana to punish this at all. And it doesn't slow Showtime from moving onto the map. He was retreating away, so this does not have an effect for him at all. As the hallucination, we'll see the Prism is out as well, so that army gathering together. Mana goes Glaives, which I don't hate. I think if you're going to try and play a mirrored composition right now, it's going to go very badly for you. The problem is this Glaives is so late. Showtime is going to have the opportunity to build Archons before Glaives is even available. So, and if you don't know, basically Glaives just dies to Archons because Archons are extremely good against the Adepts and the Adepts do nothing against the Archons. So, the fact that the Archons are already able to build is a pretty damning scenario. Like, this really is doomed, if I'm going to be honest. Like, the Force Fields will buy some time for Mana, but wow, Showtime just blinks across on the Immortals anyway. Like, zero respect for this army. I mean, he shouldn't have any respect either. Everything has been going his way. He's up 4 times the gateway count. I mean, it's a horrible fight for Showtime in the sense, like, if this was close in the slightest, this would have been a game-losing fight. But because he's just stupidly far ahead, it's the sort of fight you can 100% get away with taking. So he does so to close out game 2. We get tied up. We're going to go to a game 3 here between Showtime and Mana. I think that's the way it really should be. These are the kind of players, like I say, this definitely a very competitive round 1 match. And a third game I don't think should come as too much of a shocker as we head into ley lines. And yeah, we'll have Skillous versus Mixu coming up after this as well to close the day out, guys. So just a little info on for you guys there as well. Again, that will be coming up next. Bit of PvZ to wrap us up. We had a little swap-a-roo with these matches just because Skillous Mixu is from replays. Wasn't meant to be, just has ended up being. So it was played earlier today or maybe last night. I don't even know. Hang on, let me tell you when it was played. It was played. It was played last night. So it was played last night, but yeah. I didn't bother reaching out to Showtime Mana ahead of time, but I just saw them online that they were ready to go, so I thought may as well let them play one series sooner. And hence here we are into game 3. On the top right hand side, the blue Protoss player is Mana from Team Liquid, while in the bottom left, the red Protoss is Showtime. What's up, Corn76? 22-month resub, keep going, you're doing great, thank you so much. And Loco TV, the legend himself, one of the top YouTubers from the Netherlands, with the 100-month resub. Oh my god, Loco with the raid and the flex. Holy goodness. He's just come in and pooped on all of you guys. Apart from you, Thermal, who had the 128-month resub. My goodness. Thank you, Loco, and welcome everyone from the Loco stream. This is the WardiTV European League. Playing game 3 of Mana Showtime. It's our very first day of the tournament. We've got 10 group stage days coming up over the next 3 weeks. And then after EWC, we'll be having the playoffs of this event as our first part of the WardiTV 2025 series. A series of events building into our 2025 championship. Thank you so much. You guys are joining us when there's a lot going on. Mickey Verix just came in with 1,000 bits as well. Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. And Tag Desi2 with the 61-month resub. How quickly can I get through the 61 facts? 61 is the 18th prime number, and a twin prime together with 59 is also a sum of 2 consecutive squares. 5 squared and 6 squared is 61. 61 is a... Oh, I've lost it. Is the smallest proper prime since it ends with a 1, and 1 out of 61 has a repeating part of the decimal expansion of length 60, i.e. longest possible. Final sentence, I promise, guys. 61 is the largest prime number, not dividing the order of any of the sporadic groups, including the pariahs. The 61-dimensional sphere is the last odd dimensional sphere containing a unique, smooth structure. Well, isn't that just crazy? I bet you guys didn't wake up today thinking 61 was going to be such a big part of your life, and yet there you go. Thank you, Tags, for the math facts on 61. And an anonymous sub going out to Cease Monster. Thank you so much for gifting a little sub out as well. Even starting a freaking hype train. Crazy. Madness. Chaos in the chat. A donation as well. Well, I'm just going to open my dashboard for that. But we've got a proxy going on. I'll check the donation after the game. Because right now, Proxy Robo is coming down from Mana here. Game 3 of this series. And he's going to get aggressive. Gateway as well. No surprise. We're full committed to getting some damage done. To making something happen here in the near future. Unless we just have the... Robo and Gateway both setting up. The Hallucination Scouts and obviously sees there is nothing in your main base. Showtime is already expanded, so he's immediately going to be in trouble. Adds 2 Gateways as a response, so he's going to fight fire with units. It's a very good way to fight it. Even better way to fight it, maybe a Robo. It's tough to get the Robo out on time is the problem. And to get something useful from your... Because you got to start the Robo, build an Immortal. It just takes so long. You know, you get it force fielded and it's instantly going to be bad for you. And this is a little bit of a tricksy situation as the couple of Adepts go shading by. The wall-off is good. I mean, Showtime cannot really allow for anything too crazy to happen, including his Stalkers getting picked off here. Not a great start, losing 1 Stalker. Not ideal in the slightest. The Hallucination is going to get shot away at the Prism. Setting up, getting a little bit of a load. We're going to head into the main base. Extra gates are going to finish in a moment, so Showtime will have additional warp-ins available. But he has no battery in this main base yet, so he just has to pull the probes, force field and guardian shield, and try and push this back. Honestly, not going too badly just yet. The low ground sentries are going to help a lot. I like the stalkers initially from Showtime chasing the zone, but now they got a bit too close and they get force fielded in. The Prism will still get shot at. It's going to go super low, but man, we lost every single stalker from Showtime. He's going to lose 8 probes in this process as well. He's down 10 army supply. This is a scary start. Now, he will kill off that Adept. We'll get some shots off on the Stalker. I mean, he really dove for the Prism and didn't get it. And the TLDR is if you make a commitment onto a Warp Prism and you don't get it, it's probably going to end up being way too expensive. He gets it now, but you've got to find a way to kill this Immortal. You lost so many units, and man, it looks to come rampaging through for a 2-1 victory, which would be a huge start to his European League campaign. And like I say, the loser of this series is going to be an absolute monster in the 0-1 matches, plain and simple. Showtime's going to try and hang on in there. He does get rid of the Immortal. Micro potential is limited because of the lack of Prism now. We've lost 13 probes, but we're still equal in workers, so maybe I'm singing songs about GG's too early, because this is not quite done yet. I mean, Showtime's barely hanging on in there. I thought with the Immortal up in his face, it was going to be nigh on impossible. Maybe it still is. A new Immortal shows up. Energy Overcharge on cooldown, so we can't bring that back in. No, the Pylon is... it's going to go down. I mean, I saw the Stalkers getting forceful on the ramp. I didn't know what I wanted to shout about more, to be honest, but both were kind of game-ending factors, as Mana is going to take game 3. And just like that, Mana comes through and is going to get a pretty big win. Like I say, that's a really good start for him. This was probably, I think, the most competitive high-level match in the kind of, you know, the bracket. Like, these are two players who I'm very confident should make playoffs. And so for them to meet in round 1 is just a little bit of bad luck for the guys. Like, the Swiss format is designed that there's not necessarily seeding in play, right? Like, kind of defeats the point of it. So there was a little bit of seeding, but like not overly heavily seeding. So Mana and Showtime just end up clashing, and it does go the way of Mana. So Showtime going to be starting off 0-1 in the European League this year. We'll be seeing if he can make the bounce back. I honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm going to favor Showtime over pretty much anyone he meets at an 0-1 scoreline, to be honest. So yeah. Alright guys, let me just catch up on the donations, and then we're going to go into Skillous Mixu to round out our day. It's been kind of a fast one, but it is fun to be casting here in the evening. Don't get to do this a whole lot, to be honest, so yeah. Yo, Pashka TLT. Thank you so much for the £2 donation. Says, it's nice that this tournament takes a month, so we have lots of pro games regularly. Yeah, I knew this was going to be like a more drawn out event, and like I say, it really was just the right time to do it as well, like to run it across basically the EWC build-up, right, where, you know, not everyone wants to be coming in and playing an event here and an event there and, you know, stuff like that. So it really made sense for an event of this format to kind of take place right now, basically. So, yeah. Hell, yeah. Alrighty, guys. Let's take a moment and we'll go diving into our final match of the day. I just need to make a replay folder to put these things in. Kind of want to run ads before we go in game as well, but that was a fast game number 3, and I already ran ads on cooldown, and they just came off cooldown. There we go. Boom. 3 minutes. Bam. Alright, enjoy the ads, guys. We'll see you in 3 minutes for Skillous versus Mixu. Yo, Seb. Seb Teachnaz. I stopped to think about how to say your name every single time. Thank you so much for the 50-month resub on the Prime. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alright. Post this up. Like I said, we'll wait for the ads to play out. We're in absolutely no rush. We are so far ahead of schedule, so we'll just take a couple of moments here, take it easy, and get ready to rumble. Awesome. Simple anagram. Yeah, I know, because it's I know because it's just Sebesdes. I get it. It's just like I see it and my brain just breaks down because I'm like, you know, well, maybe you don't know, but like, I just say my brain breaks down every time because it's like it just gets stuck trying to read exactly what it sees. So fun. Yo, Max Sparrow, thank you so much for the 4-month resub. Let's make Wardy read more. Appreciate it. At least Max Sparrow is a very, you know, readable name. You know, you can't go wrong with that one, honestly. SCTTU, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 70-month resub as well. You wouldn't have guessed anagram. Well, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many people whose names are just like Exibid Hexaduda or something, you know? Ay. Hey, you guys are just throwing subs around like crazy. It's really resub to Wardy Day, apparently. Yo, thank you so much, Kayu Kankam. Thank you so much for the 28-month resub as well. You guys are really hitting this button. Jeez. Was it the prime number information? Yeah, maybe that's it. Everyone's loving the info about 61 so hard. They're like, got a sub to this now. Tag doing great things for the stream. Skit2 or Scott? Yeah, I know, but like, isn't it not more fun to just see your name completely differently every single time you resub? That's the game I've been playing for the last 70 months. I look at it and I'm like, how could I really say this in the most stupid way possible this time, you know? You know, at 70 months, I feel like we get to that part where you're actually, you know, how we're meant to say your name is actually completely out the window. Yeah. Alright guys, 30 seconds or so, ads will be done. We'll be heading into our final series of the day, which is Skillous versus Mixu PvZ action. I add extra ooze every time. Yeah, that's been my thing lately. I feel like a year ago I was just like SET2 or SE2 or something along those lines, and now I'm just like ooh. Yeah. Maybe next time I'll just hit you with the Skit2 or the Scott. Maybe I will just go for the, you know, the plain simple way it's meant to be said. Yo, Papa Mitch, a legend of the stream. How you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Going out to Sasmia75, Hybrid Badger, Meongs, Rexave, Survival Mode, Nalath16, Hardvarker, Morg1982ZP, Mr. Spoon Live, and Falcon1802. Thank you so very much. Papa Mitch has been subbed since we went full-time in StarCraft 2, guys, which was 10 years ago. 10 years ago last month. Which is kind of crazy. I was talking a bit about yesterday, during WardiTV Mondays, so I guess 2 days ago, which was on Tuesday, don't ask. I was talking about how, 10 years ago I went full-time in StarCraft 2. And like next year will be 10 years of WardiTV, because we rebranded to WardiTV after like a year or so. I was like, I went full-time and I was still doing SE2 improved stuff and so on. Eventually it was working out. I decided, hey, you should rebrand, And so WardiTV was born. And so you might have missed this the other day, but I was talking and teasing a little bit. It's not set in stone, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. So next year, we're going to try and do a WardiTV actual offline tournament. So, yeah. People like Papa Mitch, who've been supporting for 10 years and will probably be here next year still, help to make stuff like that happen. So yeah, we're going to try and do an offline event next year. So, I've done the scouting out groundwork. I pledged the idea to a few players at Home Story to see who'd be in. And I think, I think, honestly, like, Helen's on board as well. Like, we're probably going to do it, guys. Like, it's the one thing I think we just haven't done at this point as WardiTV is, like, to run an offline event. So yeah, I think we're going to do it next year. So, yeah, the plan is to roughly, I'm going to put together the initial prize pool. I'm going to try and get a couple of sponsors together for the rest of the prize pool. And we're going to try and crowdfund the overarching costs, such as player flights and hotels. A few bits and pieces I'm going to need to run it. Like, I'm going to need a couple of extra cameras. I'm going to need some extra chairs and a couple of extra desks and stuff and so on. Like, just I'm going to need to feed the players. Like, that's the sort of stuff I want to crowdfund. I want to come in and be like, yo, we already have, like, a badass prize pool. If you're excited about it, support it. And we can go from there. And obviously, we'll see where the crowdfunding takes us. So, Koreans, very happy to get a Korean or two involved. If we hit the crowdfunding to get them over here, right? Because you're talking about like 5 times, 6 times as much to fly them over, so. But yeah, absolutely very possible. I'm thinking like a few invites and then like maybe we'll do like I said, depending on the crowdfunding, we'll do like a global, or we'll do like a global qualifier if we have enough crowdfunding to fly a global player out or something. So yeah. So I'm very into it. I've talked about this a bunch recently. Like I said, I've been I've been kind of toying with the idea and, like I said, testing the waters of like how people feel about it. But I think we're gonna do it, guys. I really think it'd be sick. So yeah, probably like an 8-player tournament because it's gonna be in my house, so I can't really have more than 8 players here. And I want to keep it like at a scale which I feel like we can manage as well, because it's my first time doing anything like it. So yeah, probably like 8 players, you know, a few invites, and a couple of qualifier spots or something as well. And like I said, we'll just scale it towards what we are able to crowdfund. Like I say, there's a few costs and stuff I want to have covered, but I want to try and have the prize pool set before we crowdfund. I don't necessarily want to crowdfund the prize pool. I want to crowdfund the rest of the things that go together, and then if we raise enough, we can put that towards cooler things. Or maybe if we raise enough, we do just raise the prize pool, you know. But yeah, I think that's the that's kind of the plan. Not home story, but Wardy story. Yeah, I mean similar vibe, just on a much smaller scale. You know, it's also not gonna have a production team. It's gonna be me sat there with the keyboard pressing the buttons to put the player cams on and stuff. You know, it's probably gonna be super scuffed, but you know, that's going to be part of the fun. Like, I'm going to explain to anyone that comes that, like, you know, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, and they have to accept that this might be terrible conditions to play in and stuff. But, yeah, I think it'll be fun. An emotional support dog for every player, yeah. Well, we can have Ellie downtime segments where you just see different players petting Ellie, you know? Yeah, that'll be fun. So, yes, that's roughly a plan for next year. Probably like we're talking. This is going to be over a year away. But if we do it, we'll probably do like the crowdfunding campaign in like probably like March-ish next year, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's the rough plan. This is the Oracle is diving in. This is major damage. We're in Skillous versus Mixu, you guys, for our last game of European League today. Got sidetracked a little bit. Apologies, but yeah, Oracle gets pushed to the corner. 7 drones go down. And you're just going to see this Nexus is going to get placed as well. Add a pylon in too. And yeah, I mean, just great stuff for Skillous, having done so much damage, and those Lings not going to be able to get too much done. A couple of depths went down, but man, for 7 drones, it's just really not ideal early on in this. ByuN loves dogs. I would love to invite ByuN. Like, if you gave me one Korean player to just straight up invite, it would be ByuN. Simply for the fact that, like, you know, dude has literally, like, he would volunteer for any Wardy event that I've ever run. So if I got to pick a Korean player, like, I would just pick ByuN straight up, you know? Like, that's not even a question for me, so. Well, Queen's gonna get there. The depths will shade. We have the stasis wall going off as well. More drones getting caught. It's gonna be a little bit nasty as the lair starts up. Drone still building, melee upgrade building through, Blink and the Stalker producing, next in the gateways coming online as well. We just have the few Zerglings heading around the right-hand side of the map, and they are going to go make their way over, try and see what's going on. Just going to be having a couple of Stalkers and the Oracle joining up, the Group Tumor going down as well. Blings going to try and jump onto the Stalkers too, as you see the Queen continue to try and push those back. Blings will continue to chase the Stalkers still to take damage. Couple Stalkers going down, again the melee upgrade, the lair, the Lings and so on continue to come about as Blink and the gateway is coming online as well. And I mean, this already feels a little bit rough for Mixu. Like this start, just so many workers lost. You look at the units lost tab. Yeah, okay, he got a couple of Stalkers and a couple more depths for some Zerglings. It's nice, but it doesn't fix the economy problem, right? Which, okay, you know, now he's 64 to 52 workers. We'll see how he does. He does at least have a melee upgrade coming in against the Stalkers. It's probably one of the better upgrades you could get right now. Extra probes in production. We see the Stalkers poking up. Queen already taking some damage. Oracle will be pulling back down the left side. We drop a Revelation down. A couple of Creep Tumors getting picked away at. The Overlord can get taken down as well. Spore Crawler also taking some damage. Zerglings will try and run forward. Here's the Stalkers. Oh, we're just going to be able to keep that one alive already. Now we're going to dive forward. A Queen going down as well. Just going to be able to grab that. And we do have ourselves the Gateway Stalkers still coming through. The Lings are still going to chase on up as well. They're going to step on by, and I mean, these Lings get another wraparound just for the moment as they get us around and they play cleanup. The Stalkers have to keep on backing away. And get back toward these Queens right now. So a couple Queens taking damage once more, +1 missiles. The Muscular Augments coming through. Lings and Hydras and the Queen continue to produce up for the moment. It's going to be seeing the Ling's going to get back toward the Stalkers again. So again, just going to see those under fire. The Stalkers keep on blinking backward at the moment. The Oracle going to activate for a few more of these Zerglings. Blinks forward one more time. Couple Zerglings still in some trouble. Group Tumor is going to get taken out by the Revelation. So Revelation doing a decent job of that. As you have the Stalker stepping through, Hydras and Lings still on the way up, +1 missiles, and the Muscular Augments coming up as well. These Lings still wanting to chase the Stalkers down. The Hydra's going to get there. Queen going to be there as well. Chasing this away. The Stalker's still stepping away for the moment. 10 more Hydras, 8 more Lings. Groove Spines, the +1 missile upgrade all being added on. You're going to see that Queen is going to get taken out as well, so that's going to be another benefit. Again, this is just Stalker pressure that's going to be tough to handle. I mean, you've got the Hydras, but you don't have a buffer for them, right? And you just don't have enough where they're dealing enough damage while the first couple of dives. The Stalkers are genuinely in trouble. So yeah, this is getting to be very, very troubling here for Mixu, who, again, supply-wise is looking okay. I just think that the trades are good enough for Skillous. Now he's going to get trapped, though. He falls back. Gonna have the charge now, finishing 2. But isn't done yet, is forward gateway. May not really get to come online. Warping speeds up. We do not get the Zealots, but we've got the Stalkers. As we get to chase these Hydras down again. We've already lost the Zerglings. Attacking the pylons, unfortunately. Bane Nest will finish very shortly, so Mixu will be fully set on Lingbane Hydra. No upgrades from Skillous, by the way. No +1s, so really kind of doubling down on just units. Up until now he will start the +1, but take a little while to set up there. Knocks those rocks down, kind of forcing Mixu to only engage from one side. They'll have to commit a lot further around those rocks to be able to come in from 2 angles instead. Stalker step up, the Hatchery taking damage, the Hydra's still trying to strike as well. Just needing to blink away just for the moment. Stalker's going to blink on through. The couple Hydra's still going to be there. I'm just going to see the drones are pulling in. The rest of the Ling Hydra coming about also, so they're going to attack straight in. The Overseer went down. Was the Hydra's attack the Overseer? I feel like the Hydra's just killed that one Overseer. And the Skillous having to go running from the Banes. Kind of a weird game. Like, in the end, it's actually turned into a pretty convincing little kind of defense from Mixu. And with Banes coming in as well, like maybe we actually have a real path to victory in this game still. Because now I feel like he's got a way to knock down the Zealots. And maybe then he can truly get on top of the Stalkers as he needs to. That's Mixu done enough. I honestly kind of feel like you might have done. Those upgrades got to kick in as well. Just caught Skillous in a couple of weird fights in the end, and Skillous is going to try and figure out what is next. The Hydras and the Banes start to engage in. The units pulling off to the side. Guardian Shield popping up. The Zealots are going to try and move forward. The Hydra's going to be there. The Bane's connecting. Just going to see a few more Stalkers getting targeted down right now, and Hydras will continue to jump in big for the moment. Oracle overhead going to get a bunch of drones, by the way, so a bunch of damage being dealt. I mean, that's nice for the Oracle, but what about over here? Like, right here and now, you got to defend against these Hydras. I mean, the Hydra's are not in super high numbers, and Warpins are going to do a lot to push that back. Is Skillous actually going to find a hold? I mean, Mixu's just missing units. He's just finished +2 missiles as well, so these Hydras just got scarier, but they are dying. Like I say, so many other units, they just need to show up and actually join in, and they are going to wrap around from the far side. The Stalkers are on creep already. And Skillous still only has 22 army supplies. The issue, he's going to try and find his way out via the far left. Hydra's hitting the Nexus. The few Stalkers still showing up. Ling Hydra trying to come around. Stalkers still have to back away towards the bottom. A few more Stalkers are warping in currently. Some extra Banelings, some extra Zerglings coming through. The Hydra Ling pushing straight up. Looking for a wraparound on those Stalkers, as we are going to be able to fight through this. GG's gets called. Mixu will take the first game. I really, really thought this was going to be a very convincing kind of follow-through win from Skillous, but he just got very committed. And in the end, just didn't really kill Skillous and kill Mixu in time, to be honest. Jeez. Sorry, guys. I've got some hiccups. So my casting was a little bit stop and start in that game because I keep having to pause to the hiccup, unfortunately. Excuse me. Alright, game number 1 going the way of Mixu. I think fair to say a little bit of an upset maybe already. Let's look at game 2 lined up for you guys. And thank you for joining us for day 1 of the WardiTV European League. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place, with more action. We're going to be having Scarlet versus Percival opening the day, followed by Jupe, me versus Art, Young Jakob versus Shameless, Euthermal versus Fiont, Nicoract versus Goblin, and Horston versus Gout to wrap the day up. It was a fun day as well, and then Saturday and Sunday will be back earlier in the day for round 2, where the 1-0 players will play each other and the 0-1 players will play each other in this Swiss group stage. Alright, let's go into game number 2 here, as we are going to ley lines. Let's hope I stop hiccuping, otherwise it's going to become a very awkward cast. Hiccups are unrelenting though so far. In the bottom left, our blue Zerg player. Up a game is going to be Mixu. Really all went right for him in the end, as in the top right side, the red Protoss is going to be Skillous. Man, Skillous would be another crazy player to see at 0-1 in this group stage, you know, like, that would also be just an absolutely ridiculous player to have down there, so would be interesting as we get ourselves set up. Overlord coming through, piling the probe on the way. Trying to boost on that Nexus. And again, Gateway coming about, Assimilator coming down. As we get set and ready for these first few moments. I guess we'll follow the Overlord. Well, we've got a probe actually, let's follow the probe. Well, I try and fight the hiccups off, jeez. Probe coming across, couple nibbles coming down. Cybercore going to be on its way. So you'll see what tech comes from that from Skillous. Obviously, Stargate into Twilight has been very popular. I'd be kind of surprised to see a straight up Twilight build, especially down a game. Stargate gives you a lot more stability and just kind of normality in the game. A very standard position to play from, and I think that goes and really means a lot right now for Skillous in a game like this. I think the standard start makes you feel very comfortable in a situation that could get very out of hand if you're not careful. Well, a couple of things is going to chase that probe. There is the Stargate, unsurprisingly. Real question is, how many units do we build off of it, right? Do we go double Oracle? Do we go triple? Do we go a Void Ray or something? Probe goes down and now the Adept shows up instead. As we'll see it. Attempt to get a couple of drones. Early Adept. Getting some drones would be nice. Gonna get one. Can we get the shot for two? We can get two. It's really nice. So a couple of drones for one Adept is absolutely worth. Plus the drones would not mind for a little bit. So yeah, not bad at all. I was gonna see a second Adept showing up and a couple of Lings showing up to fight it, but not enough straight away. So it's gonna be a third drone kill of this game already. And this time I think the Adept is gonna get away before it dies as well. So 4 drones, 1 Adept dead. It's a great opening set of trades here from Skillous, whose Adept may not make it home. One Speedling catches him, the others are not going to make it, not before it's on the Nexus. That's, well, now it's got an Oracle to help it out as well, and it's going to start regenerating shields, so... Oracle activates. Yep, 2 more Lings go down, and that's just freebies. The Adept still lives. No, the Ling wants to go. No. Oh, this Adept had so much value, man. Holy crap. It's crazy. I want Adept initiate across the other side. Pilot Council building in. The gateway coming online. Extra drones in production. Add a Spore Crawler onto that as well. And the extra gate just building. The assimilator coming through. Twilight Council going to build. We just have a couple of Overlords spreading out as well for the moment. Evolution Chamber drops down on the front of the natural. Five extra drones on the way. The hatchery building on the 4th base. The Mixu just going to get that going as well. And you have 3 more gateways coming online currently. Still got that blink. Corona boosting up on the Twilight Council. We got 4 drones dead as the Adepts show up again. I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves though, because Skillous had a great start killing drones last game, and that did not lead to a victory. But it's definitely a good starting point. I mean, we can't deny that, especially as the Oracle show up for some more drones as well. Loses 1, but the work damage done is very serious as we go into Blink. We get some extra gates online. I wonder if Skillous is tempted to just try and end it the same way as last time. Like, he's done a lot of work, and I wonder if he wants to just kind of commit to aggression, if he can kind of see what went wrong last game. I think the real issue was, like, there was meant to be a moment where he overwhelmed as his opponent got to Stalkers, and he just didn't hit that moment well enough, and then obviously he was kind of stuck on Zealot Stalker as more Lingbane Hydra came into play. It became quite an unplayable composition. Overlord goes down, we drop a Stasis Ward onto a little bit of the creep spread. Ling's still about to finish up. The Lings and Overlords on the way out. Double Stalkers just go moving through. We have the Oracle coming about as well. Melee upgrade coming about. Lair on the way. See if the Stalker's able to get there, and the Overlord will go down. Overlord gets picked off as well. Just going to see the rest of the Lings still coming through. Stalkers still stepping by. Just going to have to back up for a little bit. The Ling's going to go for their wraparound here. Ling's getting some grabs. The Oracle's putting some work in. See the rest of these Stalkers warping in as well. Ling's already getting picked away at. On this bottom side, you see the few Stalkers pinging away. A few more shots just coming through. And there's a few extra Stalkers getting some shots off the glaives. Continuing to produce. We do have the Lings going to try and run at the front. Uh-oh. The Depth's actually going to get surrounded here, and we are going to see the Lings getting through for some damage. I mean, Warping comes in pretty quickly. We'll get a Pylon and a Depth. Run into the main base. Cause distractions. On the way to Glaives now is Skillous, so looking for the Glaives follow-up. Pretty wild. Blink into Glaives. I guess, again, someone who's about to build Ling Hydra again is not a bad choice, though. Glaives trades well against, you know, Lings and Hydras, so I don't hate it. Again, there's no upgrade follow-up. He's taking a 4th, but no Forge. Just fully focused on unit production. Now that those Lings are dealt with back at home, Skillous' attack in here gets a real opportunity to be very, very scary. Just going to grab one Hydra right off the bat. The rest of the Stalkers pull a bit away. Like I say, the warp in here can come kind of to the middle of the map already, which is pretty powerful. And it's just super aggressive from Skillous. Like, only Twilight Council, no Robo, no Forge, no future tech in the game. He is committed to ending this game in the very near future, and that's exactly what he's going to aim for as Mixu gets in. Another counterattack, though. These Adepts are just going to be a problem, man. Like, the Ling Hydra is not going to do well with these Adepts trading super well against them. I mean, we lose 11 probes across the map. But this is a Skillous army that's just a little bit too much. Good job from Mixu to do damage, but he took so much damage early, and this time the composition just makes this undeniably favorable. Skillous didn't trade too heavily with the Stalkers. He waited for the Adept support, where last game maybe he should have waited for some Zealot support before continuing to fight. And this time it just looked very powerful, and he is going to punch through to a 1-1 scoreline. So we're going to get another 1-1 series today. Can't complain about that, getting a fair few in the end. Nice little bit of competition in round 1 as GG gets called, and Skillous will tie us up to go into a game 3 now. And that means we get one final map here tonight, guys. In the WardiTV. European League, yes. Up there in the end. Let's get us ready to go. Countdown begins. Alright, Tokamak for our deciding map. See whether Mixu can kind of find an upset. Or Skillous will continue through. On the top right hand side, the blue Zerg is going to be Mixu. Taking on the red Protoss on the bottom left hand side, we have Skillous. And just a couple drones going down. Getting the gas coming through, get the probe producing on by. Let's get ourselves settled here for a couple moments. The early stages. Skillous being able to get so many drones both games early so far. Mixu not able to do super well against some of that early harass, so we'll see if we can do any better in this game 3. I mean, that feels like the #1 thing to just try and tighten up on. You know, you're putting yourself in bad positions if you let the Adepts and the Oracles dominate you early, right? If you can hold that off and clean that up, much easier game. Obviously way more easily said than done, but I think that's all you can come into this game 3 thinking, like, hey, look, I'm getting behind early, let's fix that. Let's not let that keep on happening, you know? Probe will fall to the drones. Hatchery to the top. Nexus and the Cybercore both coming through. Apologies. Still hiccuping a little bit, guys. I know how to bring the excitement, don't I? Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Couple queens. Drones on the way. Just going to see the Nexus coming through. The Stargate will begin to build. Going to be seeing the Nexus is going to finish up on the natural as well in the next couple of moments. The Adept and the Warp Gate coming up. Queen and the Lings. Ling speed. All building through for now. The Overlord still heading toward the bottom left-hand side. We do have the Adept heading toward the upper right. The Adept going to shade on forward. Not too much happening. Link speed's about halfway done. The Oracle is on its way. Obviously no immediate harass this time, so a little bit calmer than before, but we'll see what these two Adepts can do together. Skillous hasn't found an opportunity yet. That doesn't mean there won't be one. Heads into the main. 2 Lings, the Queen. He's going to commit the Adepts. 4 Lings in total. Make for a bad defense. Some lost mining time currently. Another couple Lings showing up, helping to get a bit of a surround. It's a lot of lost mining time. That really is going to be the final kind of tail of this as the Lings get their speed, and they'll chase that Adept down. I thought they were going to chase it down, but he preserved a couple of Lings. Did not get the kill yet. He's actually going to chase after the Shade. She doesn't actually catch, so for now the Adept gets out of there. Now there's an Oracle nearby, so if you commit onto it, the Oracle will commit. Don't like that from Mixu. The Oracle kills Ling so quickly that does not seem like a good idea. As both Zerglings go down, the probe's still gathering. Nexus drops. Fascinating Glaives coming through as well. And again, Nexus and the Gateway is still coming up. A couple of probes building online for the moment. Oracle gets up towards the top. A couple of queens coming through. The Cryptium is coming around. The Evolution Chamber drone and the Overlords continue to get built up right here. It's going to be seeing the Spore Crawler being added on as well. Going to be a bunch more links coming about. Melee upgrade building. Next, it's still coming through. Couple more depths is going to warp in. We do see the glaives continue to come about as well. We are going to start shading across toward that upper right-hand side of the map. So we are going to start committing over. Link's trying to run in. The depths making their way across right now. Glaive is done already. This is looking rough for Mixu. Rotron is nowhere near being done. Spines are built in desperation. It's never great. This might just be a GG angle because you're in such trouble, plain and simple. Depths in the mineral line. They're going to be choked up. The Lings aren't going to fight it. The Oracles are having a wild time. I mean, a series where I felt like Skillous has been very comfortable the whole time. Mixu was able to scrap that game one together for himself, but I think Skillous is the rightful winner of this. I mean, this was a series where he was just constantly kind of a step ahead of Mixu. Kind of the entire way through, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think he really did just have good control of this from start through finish. Like I say, that game one got away from him a little, but aside from that, just some solid StarCraft 2. GG's, alright. Skillous gets the 2-1 victory. That wraps us up for day one, guys, of the WardiTV European League. Plain and simple. It was not a long day at all. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Do you kind of expect the first couple of days to obviously be a little bit faster, because again, it gets less and less one-sided, the matches, as we kind of go through. Let's see just how day one went. So obviously day one, ByuN beat out NightPhoenix, HeroMarine beat out Hydra, Krystianer beat out Sebesdes. I really felt like Sebesdes is going to have a good run the 0-1 matches. MaxPax beat out BabyMarine. I think BabyMarine's going to have a good run at 0-1. Obviously Showtime is 0-1. He's going to have a great time down there, I'd imagine, fighting back in round 2. Tomorrow, guys, we'll be back at the same time as today for Scarlet versus Percival, Jumi versus Art, Young Yakov versus Shameless, Euthermal versus Fiont, Nicorakt versus Goblin, and Harstem versus Geralt. So yeah, that's going to be coming up tomorrow. And then when all of these games have been played tomorrow, we will know the round 2 matches. So we'll be able to talk about round 2 for the weekend already. And that's why I think it already starts to get way more exciting. You've got the potential of like a ByuN, HeroMarine, Krystianer, MaxPax, Mana, Skillous playing each other, as well as the winners from tomorrow. Yeah, I think honestly from round 2 it already starts to get really like, this format really starts to show its like prowess and just how cool it can be. So hell yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the love today as well. Fish1 on the 28-month resub as well to wrap us up. We're sub shy of 550, which is kind of crazy because like it really has just been like a super heavy day of subs. Like plus 25 subs in like a fairly short stream, honestly. So thank you so much for the support. We had a bunch of primes, we had a bunch of gifteds. I appreciate you guys. I'm still hiccuping, so I'm going to go sort that out. Run us out ads on the outro. There'll be a new YouTube upload. Harstem versus... No, Solar versus MaxPax. Sorry, MaxPax versus Solar going up on the YouTube in the next... Yes, it is uploaded. In the next, like, 5-10 minutes, so you guys can check that out if you want more StarCraft. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow for more StarCraft from the WardiTV European League. You guys have a great rest of your day. Some ads on the outro, and then I'll host someone up to spread the StarCraft love. Thanks so much for watching the European League Day 1. We'll be back tomorrow for more.